on over, guys. But what's up? Where is everybody just now? We're waiting, patiently waiting, as 50 Cent would like to say.
I've been patiently waiting for a track to explode.
Okay, exactly. And I know there's some explosions.
Tesla's exploding.
Some explosions here, my friend Obi. Let's see if we can catch a new high. But I'm still waiting for this chat to load up before we start doing some roll call. I'm not even tapped in to Unity, so we'll get that signed up as I'm waiting to load. Where is everybody? Where is my chart? And I cannot see the chat.
I got the chat. I got the chat right here.
You ready for roll call?
Let's go.
What's up, Trader TV traders?
Let's go.
Do it up there, Obi. Los Pollos Hermanos. Oh, I got it here now too. We got it. Stevenson, my guy. I hope you're killing it on your evaluation. Ozan, Soko, what's up? Britt Burden, Brown Lightning, The Piper, Bot Yet Club, Ronaldo, what's up? That ain't Sharif, that's Obi there, Ronaldo. What's going on? Venito, Mabu, hey, Lil Mabu, Dan Gale once again, Venato, G-Talk, I like G-Talk, Mike DeRider, Venato, Johnny H, Juan Padilla, my guy, what's up? Joe, okay, with Joe Mama, come on, Maria, Bear vs. Bulls, the OG, Nick W. I've been curious where you been at, my friend. I've been looking for you, and I seen you put some super chats in the morning show. Where are you during the afternoon show? I haven't seen you for a while, my guy. Normal special, good call outs today. Let's do this. Obi, what's going on? That is the roll call, my friend. We're not going to go through any more, so that is it. How's your trading session?
Not too bad. It took some trades in the morning. Hopefully everyone's doing well. Market to the upside as of right now. Let's see what Adair has to say right away with some breaking news.
I just think it's worth noting here, we've been talking a lot about what tomorrow is going to do with the tariff-related announcement. Now, apparently, it's actually not going to be happening during market hours. Donald Trump set to announce or deliver remarks, quote unquote, in the Rose Garden at 4 p.m. on Wednesday. These remarks are heavily suspected to be about tariffs. Yesterday, it was also reported, or I guess rumored here, that he would be delivering the tariff remarks in the Rose Garden. So based on this, we can assume that the tariff announcement will be delivered tomorrow, 4 p.m. So after the market close at the Rose Garden. He's also usually late, so it's more likely to come at least 4:30. So again, the main key point here is tomorrow we're not going to have to worry about tariff announcements. Potentially looks like that announcement is going to be happening after hours. Back to you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
Dara, Nick W., just pure class. Yeah, if there was the definition of class there is the definition of class in the dictionary. Your picture would be most definitely beside it. So there you go. Some good stuff here going on this morning, man. Obi. IBIT, slightly frustrating because it started to get the ball rolling, but let's just talk about risk to rewards here real quick before I send it off to you, and then we got a little bit of a lesson to hop in. But I went 0 for 3 on IBIT here, and then it eventually did the move that I was looking for, up 2.5%, and I'm like, that's slightly frustrating. Added heavy right here, got stopped out. It went again, got stopped out. Tried it for a third time, got stopped out. I said, okay, that's my 3-strike rule. It's like going to the batter's plate. You're out of there, all right? So then we had NVDA this morning. I'm like, okay, let's see if we break down. Didn't love the breakdown. I stop out right away. So I'm 0 for 4. Not a good start. I'm like, okay, let's just keep our cool. Everybody stay patient. And then that's it. We wait. We put in this trade here on TSLA, the 2x leverage here. And that's what I started 0 for 4. I went 1 for 5 on the day. Right, 20% accuracy, and you're essentially still flat on the day. So there you go. A 20% accuracy, Obi, can keep you flat on the day when you have a rough start. And that's what you want to do. I was risking about 7 cents on this trade and hit a really, really nice one all the way up to 10.50. And we're going to wait for this next fill here at 10.55. What'd you trade today, my friend?
Those are some solid trades there. Beautiful entry there on Tesla. I was not necessarily at my desk, but I did trade Tesla there earlier on in the morning session, so we can take a look at that here. Go down to the 1-minute chart because I was making decisions pretty quickly. And I didn't really, I know I missed the short off of the open. This 268 short was absolutely beautiful. And by the time I hesitated, it was down to 266s. And I was like, oh, do I really want to risk up to 268 halves there on this move? not really. So I started to kind of, get a little cheeky with it. Very lightly, I start to dabble into it. I'm like, I know this is probably gonna go against me a little bit here. So dabble into it. It pukes, and I'm like, oh boy. So these initial 2 entries definitely can be stopped out a little earlier. 263s maybe even. Like we're not really holding VWAP. So like, all right. So sure. And trying some bids here is okay, but getting out aptly is even better. But here we finally kind of catch the slowdown, catch the right side of the V. I actually did well to get aggressive when that bid does come in for that reversion to the mean, and a little mean it was, as it did kind of chop up, make that higher low. And I know you took this one, beautiful little bit of a trend break. That bid kind of holds 260s, and then we're off to the races here. 267s breakout right here. You can see that volume coming in with that breakout of high a day here on Tesla. Not just Tesla, the rest of this market, Joe, is absolutely crazy to the upside. And I got eyes on a wild runner today. I don't know if you've been watching this one here. Definitely maxing out on this price action is this Newsmax here on the day. I was looking at this yesterday, and we were talking about this as well, and it was holding going into the close, and I'm like, yo, this can clip 150s, 140s if this holds and continues to go here. Doesn't really say the share float, but definitely a little cornered, a little trappy here, and pushing all the way up to 193.74. So definitely have eyes on this one. I think we looked at borrows. Borrows were like $65 a lot, which is pretty pricey, but definitely it seems like if you were on the right side, more than worth the expense. That's the thing. Sometimes when those borrows get really pricey, maybe something juicy might be on the table on the day.
200. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. What a beautiful.
Yeah.
move there.
Like you said, this guy called it yesterday. He's like, watch, this thing's gonna go to 100, and then essentially doubled from there. I'm like, oh my days, man. Imagine just putting. So if you were that lucky individual who put $1,000 at 14.
Yeah, maybe. On the IPO, off the
IPO.
Yeah.
Like, dang, let me put $1,000 notionally even. You just.
I was telling Joe, I was like, when you get margin called a couple times, you get squeezed out.
Oh, yeah,
which charts absolutely not to touch as a short. And yesterday, that ticker was definitely one of them. So I was like, all right, you definitely don't want to touch, and a little bit of a squeeze action happening on the day today. So.
Yeah, Hunter Harvey, anything is possible, my friend. That's for sure. Anything is possible. But all right, let's get right into this lesson here, guys. We're gonna dive into it. I know we're starting to. This market is moving, so we want to get through this, learn a little something new. I'm in some Amazon calls. Those are printing. I got filled earlier this morning. We're happy about that. But let's get right into this. Let's get right into this lesson because we want to get right back into the markets. Maybe we'll do half and then another half slightly later. We are posted up on TSLA, so I may as well pull that up here on my secondary to see if we're going to get that filled. All right, guys, this is what we're going to be going over today: pre-market preparation, trade criteria, and data collection. Very important. Obi does it every morning. He loves taking the train in and in the Boston because he has the ability for an hour plus to just do his analysis, etc. So that's why we like to arrive early and then get prepared. If you think that you're going to just roll out of bed and start trading, then you're going to be in for a tough time. And I'm pretty sure Obi can agree with me on that one. Oh, yeah. So, all right, guys, creating a day trading playbook is like crafting your own personalized roadmap to navigate the financial markets. Numerous of successful traders credit their success to hard work and a defined trading playbook. Pre-market preparation, detailed trading criteria, and consistent data collection are key criteria to the success of numerous amounts of traders, including the individual to the right of me. Pre-market preparation, starting your trading day the right way, is going to be a key factor in your session success. Proper and consistent preparation is important. Checking daily news, sentiment on social media, as well as what in the equities market seems to be catching the public's eye. So when you see high R-vol in the morning and you see high volume, and then you have multiple catalysts, all right? So when you run your scanners, you'll be able to identify this. Keep an eye on upgrades, downgrades, as Adara does, and headlines that could affect an individual stock and even the broader market. Check daily macroeconomic data points and earnings during and out of season, okay? So this is just some basic stuff. This is a weekly chart here of what is going on from a macroeconomic standpoint. So there you go. You have the weekend. You just scan through it. Okay. So at what time is what coming out? So you can see at 10 a.m. on the Friday here, you have consumer sentiment. It's like, okay, I'm in a position. Let me be a little bit weary here because consumer sentiment coming out at 10 a.m. I don't want to get caught in any volatility onslaught. All right. And hopefully if you're on the right side of the trade, you can get that positive pop, but just be prepared. Make sure you have those stops in place, etc. And the same thing if you're trading in the pre-market. It's like, okay, initial jobless claims, that tends to move the market as well. So just make sure that you're prepared because you know you can't have those stop orders in the pre and post market. All right, so trade criteria and stock selection are key factors in consistent trading success. Being in the right stock with your trading parameters will help increase your day-to-day success. That may sound very simplistic and obvious. Of course, you want to be in the right stock, but that's why you want to do your morning analysis to make sure that the stocks that you are picking fit the criteria with your past success, all right? So you're like, okay, if stocks gap down in the morning, I'm not that good at it. Let me find something that is more stagnant and hasn't necessarily moved. Or if something gaps down, okay, I'm good at stocks that gap down and then look to recover part of that gap. That is key, and this is what you want to document. Stock screeners are a great trading tool that allow you to filter through the markets and find in-play stocks that fit your playbook's trading metrics, all right? So analyze current technical level, mark out key support and resistance levels for your in-play stocks, establish potential trade scenarios, breakups, breakdowns, reversals, and continuation, and obviously define your risk as well too. So make sure you know how much you're going to be risking per trade. All right, so this is just a basic stock scanner right here. So what is the criteria? Okay, we want anything higher than $13. Anything lower than $1,000. Now, you can definitely bring that significantly lower. I like to probably put around $300 here and about $10 here. Volume filter, the lowest we're going to accept is 900,000 shares, and the most we're going to accept is infinite. We don't care. We want as many shares as possible. That means a lot of traders, individuals, retail, hedge funds, and all the firms are looking at that specific stock, okay? So there you go, collecting data. We're going to stop here because the market is really moving here, guys, and I want us to cover that here. So we're going to stop at collecting data, and once things start to cool off, we're going to hop right back into the lesson. So if you have any questions, be sure to put them in the chat, and let's go over some stocks. We just caught another fill here on Tesla as we climb higher to 1055. We don't have too many more outs, but it is working really, really good. Gorev, my guy, check this out. Before I send it back to you, Obi, real quick, Gorev, check this out. So I got stopped out of my ratio spread yesterday on Amazon. Okay, so then I post up an order this morning. Actually, I created the order last night. I get filled at 177. I'm just straight out flat bought these calls on Amazon. They're 195. They're 195s, I believe. So I bought them out of the money. So, but I got filled at 187 roughly, and then now we're trading at 192. Gonna tap into 193. Those calls are printing on Amazon there, folks. Obi, what do you got going on?
Nothing much, man. I'm just kind of watching this market. This Tesla's really pushing up here into 275. Let's see when this bid will stop. Right after we're back from Madeira.
We actually have some comments coming through right now from Mark Carney, Prime Minister of Canada, saying that Canada is going to be, quote, very deliberate in terms of its measures it takes to fight for the country, just with regards to tariffs. But the real reason I wanted to go here is today's lesson for the midday is about finding these scanners, being aware of what's happening in the week. Well, guess what? We actually have a feature for that on TTV Research. This is the X account that we have. I run it and update it every single day. So this is our weekly calendar here. I post these usually every Friday or on Monday morning. And then we have our daily calendars. These usually come out in the afternoon, usually around power hour for the day before. So as you can see today, we're watching out for Credo and Cisco attending the OFC 2025 conference. QBTS is still hosting its Qubits 2025 conference as well. So lots of updates on watch. You can check this out every single day on X at TTV Research, a daily and a weekly calendar to help with your playbook needs. Back to you.
Machadera.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I'm just waiting here, watching this this Tesla. I know Joe's involved in this one here as well. I think it's very strong to the upside. Let's see if we can get that 275. But you guys know what I'm looking for. I missed the long. The long was exactly where I think Joe had a sniper entry on that one. So shout out to Joe for that beautiful entry there on that Tesla breakout move when it does break that trend. So I think that if I don't have that and I don't have the breakout entry, then I'm just patiently waiting. I missed those trades there. I'm sure we can get that continuation, but this market is hella strong right now, and I got eyes on NVIDIA as well as some of these Mag 7s. Let me know if you guys are in any long Spider as well. Definitely keeping an eye on that one. 261.30s as of right now, and very strong here is Apple as well. Apple is the only one though right now, Joe, that hasn't really broken its high a day just yet. Everything else has. I got eyes on J&J as well. That one, but with a bit of news this morning. If you guys were watching the morning session there, I think they had something with their lawsuit settlement proposal. But they gapped down. Basically, I was just like, all right, gap down on news, doing some relative volume, eyes on J&J for continuation. And continuation, it's been doing pretty well here. Apple as well. So this is what I'm talking about. Not yet at its high a day. 223.38 is the high. Currently trading at 23.21s, 28s as of right now. So only about 10 pennies away with that one there. So poised for high day as the NASDAQ here closes into that 19,600 mark. Where is the next trade, Joe? That's what I'm asking, and I don't really see it just yet, but patiently waiting. If and when this bid does dissipate, I do want to try to figure out what the best vehicle is to get involved with, but again, I'm finding that being a little patient goes a long way, especially in this market where, you know, things can get very directional. They can keep on going. They'll consolidate. Something else as well, like I'm learning, I'm picking up on different kinds of consolidation. So if the price will consolidate all over the place, right? It's like how that consolidation builds up relative to where it's happening. I think it's starting to give me some more information, and that's something that I've been kind of working on in this consolidation here on Tesla. I was like, I was looking at it right here, 272s, 273s. I'm like, all right, well, do I really want to short this? No, this is likely to continue at least to the 275 level here, and 275 is coming in here. Let's see what we do with that 19.6. Again, $100 kind of mark there on the futures there on the NASDAQ. Coming in pretty hot. I don't really have anything else on watch, so let me know what you guys are also watching. I've mentioned a few things that I have had on watch. Let me pull up my Notion here, and I love that you're doing the lesson on the morning prep, because this is kind of what I do in the mornings. Let me just change this from light to dark. Okay, so we can go here. So morning trading plan. So this is what Joe was talking about. Like there are days where I drive in, and those days definitely are distinctly different, I would say, because I think there's a reason to that as well. I think it's because like I've made so many decisions coming into the morning, maybe elevated some cortisol as well. Like my body is already like, okay, we're kind of like, you know, we're doing things are happening. Things might not like, okay, obviously it's not like stressful, but you're making decisions, you're releasing some cortisol. And I kind of what I realize is like protecting that capital for the trading session, it makes a huge difference for me specifically. So it's like taking the transit in the morning definitely gives me time to do that prep. I run through my scans. I have a list of the top constituents of both the NASDAQ and the Spider and the NASDAQ there, and also the Dow Jones. So I'll take the top constituents. I'll run through all of them a couple of times there in the morning. Trying to find anything that stands out, anything that's any sort of significance in terms of technicals, in terms of relative volume, in terms of maybe news. And the price action is very telling, right? The price action speaks volumes sometimes. So you can see a chart and it's doing volume. It's like gapping up or gapping down. Maybe it's done a shake and bake, done nothing. You're like, maybe this has some news, so you can delve a little bit deeper into that. But yeah, that morning scan definitely helps and keeping that focus. And then I have about a 25-minute subway ride right to the station down the street. And during that, I just do like do a meditation in the morning.
Nice.
Just
nice.
eyes closed, kind of visualizing some of the morning plans that I've made. I'm like, okay, if I'm looking to get long on Tesla, I'm visualizing, okay, is it like, what am I looking for? What am I looking for? What do I want to see? How do I want to trade it? It's coming into that VWAP. I visualize that VWAP coming in. I'm seeing the tape slow down. I'm seeing it turn. I'm seeing myself take the position, kind of, you know, just like giving myself a little bit of that preparation, and then coming in, if it happens exactly like that, which almost never. But, you know, if it doesn't happen exactly like that, you're like, oh, I've been here before.
Yeah.
I've done this.
Yeah,
I've taken
exactly.
this trade. Boom. You feel
think,
so much more comfortable taking it. But yeah.
I think that's such an important point there. What Obi you're saying is just the visualization of what you're planning to do, right? It's so key. And I remember, and during earnings season is when I really hone in on this, because you're looking for a surprise, right? And that's what you want to find in stocks. That's what really drives us higher, is surprise. When the street is surprised, it's something positive, and you can see some definitive direction, whether it be a surprise to the downside or to the top side. But just to visualize that is so important. Is to come in, and we talked about this before. It's like during hockey or whatever you may be doing, it's just like picture in your head what you're gonna do. And I like that Obi pointed out, yeah, it's not gonna be exactly how you manifested it, but if it comes anywhere relatively close to it, you're like, okay, I've seen this before, and then now you have to act upon that. And that's one thing we can talk about this all day. And when you visualization, then that leads to execution, et cetera, et cetera. You just keep going down that rabbit hole. But if you visualize what you're going to do and it displays yourself, then it's on you to execute that. And I think that's something that Obi's really, really good at. I mean, guys are really underrated. I wouldn't even say underrated. He's a fantastic trader, in my opinion. And
Go as that far as to say that.
but that's the thing, dude. Come on, don't shoot yourself short. You know what I mean? I think you're an individual who is like, I can always do a little bit better. I think that's just the competitive edge within you, and I think that's something that you need. The guy will put up great days, and he's like, okay, but how do I make that better? And that's the mentality I think you need, especially in this game.
No, I just feel comfortable that way. And yeah, I think so. At the end of the day, I like that you related it to sports, because trading definitely is a sport. This is competition. This is it's a very competitive thing, and you're playing on literally one of the most competitive arenas on the face of the earth, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But and yeah, if you're familiar with gaming, this is definitely like certain days, certain tickers, like is definitely high level ranked. Some of these small caps, I was talking to Sharif, I'm like, yeah, some of those small cap runners, some of them are definitely, like, in my opinion, relative to my playbook, and relative to what I'm comfortable trading, that's the next level rank for me. And I'm just like, oh boy, like, you know, it's like,
prestige.
I can understand what might be going on there, but I don't know if I want to really put on that kind of risk or learn that kind of game for the long run. But I don't, you know what, I don't know. I'm still very fresh in my journey here, and I'm kind of just riding along on the way.
You're just riding the wave, man. You're just riding the trading wave. And but I don't know if, like, from friend to friend, I think you're, obviously we're talking on the air too, but I think you're doing a fantastic job. And I think
you as well, man. Like, I'm looking at your trades. You've been improving. Exactly. Yeah. There's always room for improvement, but you've been getting better. You've been sniping some of those entries there, and solid. I think that's the thing. There always has to be some sort of growth, and you have to be looking at what you want to work on, what you want to improve, because there's always more. And another thing that I learned this past year was you also have to look at how far you've come. Yeah. Because that will keep you going. You can be like, okay, this is how far we've come, and this is where I started from. So this is all the improvements that I have been making, and that gives you that motivation to continue to go. And then that's a big thing that I learned last year, because I would only focus on, like, okay, how to get better. My self-talk might have been not the best. I think after I read this book called The Gap and the Gain, as well as Golf is Not a Game of Perfect. Both those books.
Yeah.
amazing for a little bit of mindset and a little bit of self-talk and how to kind of improve even faster, right? So it's like, yeah, I would focus hard and be extremely hard on myself of like, okay, yes, I can do this better and I want to be able to do that better, which is fine, but the way you approach yourself in kind of doing that can make a world of a difference. And yes, looking at how far you've actually come since the beginning, and no matter how small or big those steps are, progress is still progress, and you should definitely acknowledge yourself for that. And yeah, I think all of us, some decent progress can always be a little bit better.
Always, man.
Yeah.
But that's the name of the game, right? Like when you want to be the best, and that's the thing. We talk about the high failure rate in trading, and that's what you have to do. You essentially have to be one of the best like the best you can possibly be, and be ready to perform. But we're catching some love in here in the chat. Obi says, "Bro, love 2NY." My guy says, "I love it. I agree with both of y'all." Obi is the most patient trader on here, and Joe is very, very technical with his trades. Much appreciated, 2NY. You're an OG. Who is Joe? Yeah, I am Joe, my friend. Joseph, Joe, the same person. But we're going to talk a little bit about origin stories here, Obi. But I want to talk about Amazon here real quick. This thing is absolutely flying. Let's go here in Amazon. Let's see if I can.
Let me know when it's ready for a reverse.
Yeah, no, we don't want any of that. But we're going to diamond hands this one here, guys, until 200, hopefully, on some of these calls. But that would be absolutely fantastic. And I told Obi, we have a little tradition here in the summertime where we go to a local bar and we grab these big, massive towers of margarita. And I said, if it hits 200, the towers are on me. So there you go. Adara's excited for that one. She'll be participating on that and everything along those lines. But back to the origin story. I think it's it might be 2 years ago now, is when I first met Obi at the Money Show. Obi and I had no idea who each other were, through a mutual person who recognized Obi and that I knew from somewhere else, said, hey, yeah, this is an individual. He's on Trader TV. And then Obi and I just talked for about 5 minutes, not knowing who each other were. And I just asked him a couple questions, and we had a little short conversation. And then I guess here we are now, a couple years later, and we're not knowing each other, and I can definitely say that you're my friend, and I never ever expected that. So which I think was pretty cool, no?
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, no, I'm telling you, like I met Joe at that conference, and you were with the.
BBT folks.
BBT folks. Bear Bull Traders. Yes. You were with those guys, and great community there as well. A lot of respect for the Bear Bull Traders as well. But met you at the Money Show, and didn't expect small world. You're from the area, and I was like, you should come down to the floor. And a year later, he took that advice, came down, and now part of the floor, part of the show, and trading and getting better. So I think that's an absolutely solid story there, Joe, and glad to have you here.
And then Adara said, yeah, exactly. So Adara was with us at the Money Show
this year.
Last year. Adara was at the Money Show with us as well too. That was a good time. I'm most definitely going to run it back. I know Adara's going to probably want to be there. Obi's going to want to be there. Sharif was there, and so was Wayner. So that
Sharif actually came this time.
Yeah, Sharif actually came. So that was a good day. That was a good day. So guys who don't know about the Money Show, they have them in Vegas. Everything. You just talk a lot about trading and other investment vehicles. And we have one here in Toronto in the summertime, at the end of summer, that is. And I think it's just a great time to just go there and mix and mingle and make connections. So really, really good. Joey is starstruck sitting next to Obi. I guess so. I'm sitting here next to my friend. Joe looks like that guy played Venom. True or false? That is Tom Hardy. And if I look like Tom Hardy, I will take that any day of the week. So that's it. We're sitting in this trade. I'm still in TSL. We're going to wait for this to climb higher. We may as well just hold on to it for the remainder of the day. Should I mock this, Obi? Should I just mock Should I just mock this last little bit? Probably not.
It's up to you. I think having a set rule for the exits is something I definitely need to work on as well. But I think
it's not.
As long as you have a plan. As long as you have a plan. The plan can be a mock. Why not?
Exactly.
I mean, a couple of days ago, I think I happened to have a good price on Tesla, and even though it was still just a breadcrumb, I was like, just for the rep, I'm going to hold this into the close, and I just held a little bit of Tesla after the close.
Nice.
Didn't really do much, didn't really do what I was looking for, but it was good nonetheless. I was just looking at this picture here, man. I'm like what's I really like. I'm starting to like this now. This is pretty funny. With the
Oh, did they put that up?
the picture there? Yeah, I don't know.
That's a good. There you go. There's Obi.
So
Has been hitting the
when I yeah, exactly, right. Soon, that Fit for Less. They said that they were going to open spring. They changed it to summer now.
Oh,
so it's probably gonna like June.
Yeah,
so it's like I'm like, all right. So Brinkles and I were just like, okay, well maybe we just find the closest gym and just join that one.
Well, he's already at the Y, right? So
Yeah, the thing is, the Y is like I'm not really using a lot of the stuff that they give. I think we've spoke on this before. Okay, oh boy, something is. I think things are potentially coming here. A bit of a reversion potential here on SPYs and maybe TQs as well. Let's see. I got to pull up a closer chart of this Tesla. And okay, so let's see. I think Tesla's. The thing about Tesla though is like it's been kind of pretty aggressively bidding up since yesterday and majority of the day today. I don't know if I want to get in front of that there. But you can see the futures pulling back off of that 19,600 as of right now. So I am kind of tempted for a little bit of a dabble. You know what? We'll take a little bit of a dabble here. Nothing too crazy. Let me just throw in my stop right here. And it seems like my stop's about to get taken out as soon as I throw it in, but that's okay. We'll let that one work. I also said the TQs as well. Let's kind of go to them. I want to look at some of the TQs. NVIDIA here, 109 holding. Let's see what Adara has to say.
Bit of movement here on GM. That is General Motors announcing their deliveries for Q1. Vehicle deliveries of 363 units. So that's almost 700,000 units. Their total Q2 EV sales were just under 32,000 units. So delivery numbers coming through from GM. Bit of a pop there. Be aware of a little bit of volatility in that name. Back to the guys.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so you're short Tesla now, eh? All right.
I short a little bit of Tesla. I short a little bit of TQs as well. Let's see if it works out. But yeah, again, this is still very much front side. Sellers haven't really stepped in that aggressively. Google's pushing back up to day highs as well. 274s here on Tesla. I didn't quite get up to 275s. We got 274.80s as the high currently, and the future is taking a little bit of a pullback after 1, 2, 3, 4 straight green bars on the 15-minute, all the way from 19.3s to 19.6s, and taking a little bit of a wee pullback. Let's see if that pullback turns into anything more, anything stronger. What's happening? What's going on? Oh, he's cranking. Okay, he's raising the volume. Sitting. He wants me to. Okay, we're sitting up as well. All right, posture's everything. Thank you, Fabian. Posture. All right, so definitely something to watch is a potential slowdown of the bid there. Let's go back to kind of what we were talking about before here. I was talking about morning trade plan, right? So it's like it gives me that time in the train, on the bus in the morning, to kind of sit down and go through my morning and be like, all right, what are my top ideas today? What am I really looking at? Now, this doesn't have to show up the way it does. A lot of times I'll have 6 or 7, 8 ideas, maybe even 10 ideas, but maybe one of them really pans out. Maybe one of them pans out, but it wasn't what I planned. It's the total opposite of what I planned. So I have to kind of redo that, right? So, but still, getting eyes on the playing field, getting eyes on the market before you come in, looking for setups that potentially align with your style of trading, with your playbook, is definitely important to do in the morning. I do it at night as well, Joe. So I'll have a scan at night. So I'll start this at night, and then in the morning I'll make amendments to it. I'll add other things as well. So today I was looking at crude oil. That was pretty strong, but today not really coming in. Gold was pushing all-time highs, so I was looking for trends to continue on gold. That didn't really happen. Walmart continuation above prior day high, 88.20. That did happen, and that happened pretty nicely here. So let's take a quick look at Walmart, and you can see 88.20. Where was that? So 88.20 was right here on Walmart. So opening drive, let's take out some of these indicators. That's VWAP in the blue. This is a 3-minute chart. So 88.20 comes in pretty aggressively, pre-market high, prior day high. That's what I was looking for. I was just looking for a price to hold above that level for the continuation on the next day. You can see that this continuation actually worked. Sure, we don't hold 88.20 that well on the pullback, but we do hold 88, and then we reclaim VWAP, and we're trading near high of day here on Walmart. So that one worked out. Let's see if PCVX worked out. I was looking at it in the morning, and I was like, all right, well, maybe potential continuation. They had a gap down there yesterday, so today was day 2 of the move, and it did bid up pretty much all of the day yesterday, so I was curious to know whether we could reclaim some of this 38 level for a continuation if it is going to revert on a higher time frame. But as of right now, still consolidating, so that reversion technically not off the table, but for the intraday trade, not really what I'm looking for. So PCVX, not really doing that. And then Court, I saw Adara was mentioning this one in the chat earlier. So Court had ovarian cancer drug, and they gapped up on that yesterday. Beautiful hold of that VWAP. Strong into the close, again, along with the rest of the market as well. So that's one to watch out for. So I was like, all right, well, if this can hold above 115 or maybe above prior day's VWAP as well, that's a 101. If we do pull back, I'm looking for that continuation. But guess what? Off of the open, I see this Quadunk off of 115. I see the Quadunk off of 105s. I see that VWAP sellers are still in charge. Was it what I was looking for? Absolutely not. So that's off the table right there. J&J, I got the news wrong on this one. I was like, oh, drug tariff rumors, but J&J had some other news as well. But I was looking for that continuation. And guess what? This one did work out pretty well here. I put an anchored on top of this, but again, no real volume in the pre-market. So that anchored, I don't know how much that really means. You got to remember, anchored, it's a volume-weighted average price. So when not any significant volume has been done, even though there's relative volume being done, I don't think it really weighs as much. But you can see that selling still kind of continues, that pre-market high, a little bit of a lick grab, pre-market low breakdown, VWAP sellers in charge. So there's multiple places to get involved with this, different kind of EVs on each one of those entries here. But I didn't really see anything too crazy. And by the time I got down to VWAP, I was like, I don't know if I want to risk all the way up to 162s. And then last one was TLT, Joe, for the continuation, because yesterday we sold off pretty aggressively and then strong bid into the close. And then I was looking for that continuation. And guess what? I missed out on that one there. That did hold some of these levels and an aggressive bid. Look at that expanding volume coming in for that break right around 10 o'clock there. So with that economic number there, potentially pushing all the way up to 91.90. So we are technically getting a continuation here on the 20-year Treasury yield. So that was kind of the morning plan that I had coming in this morning. You can see that a majority of those didn't work. 2 of those did work, and I didn't even catch any one of those. I traded Tesla instead. So
there you go. It just shows
that's how it can be.
That's
right?
how it goes sometimes, though. But it's besides that. Like the thing is, though, is you're prepared, and then you've seen your setup come elsewhere, and then you took advantage of that. And so you've seen Obi's morning prep. I'll show you guys my morning prep if we can pull up my screen here as well too. It's the same thing, guys. We're just getting prepared for the morning. Like we're getting ready. He does his on the train. I do mine either at home or when I get here. I run my scans, etc. And this is just this short list of the game plan. But I got a lot to cover here. There's people asking quite a bit in the chat. But first come, first serve. We're going to go with CSAI, looking great here on cloud structure, continuing to move, man. That volume is really, really stepping in, and it's really continuous. So good look there on CSAI. And a nice breakout. IPO right here, but a nice breakout. So be prepared that if this volume continues, you might get a little bit more of a recovery on CSAI. Now to CT from China. He was saying, hey, Joe, what do you think about TSLA calls? Now, I'm going to be frank with you. I've never used from an options perspective a derivative of a derivative, okay? So options are a derivative of an underlying asset, but then TSLA is a derivative of Tesla. That's why it's a 2x leverage product. Have I used these? No, I've never implemented them. I don't know how different they would trade because I've never personally done that. If you have traded leverage products like the TQs or TSLA, put it in the chat, and I'm curious to see how those move. But there's many ways that you can implement just reducing your gamma exposure and the fluctuation of your contracts via hedging or buying further dated contracts. But again, just be wary because they do fluctuate more. So for every 1% move in Tesla, you're going to get a 2% move in TSLA, and be prepared for that to reflect in the options contracts. All right. There's a couple other things that people wanted me to go over. CSAI for Skull, we just did that. It's looking really, really good, and hopefully you're in that. So nice trading. Oh yeah, and then Jack Gonzalez asked me for a call wall on Tesla, and where I've seen the most levels of open interest here on Tesla is around 280. All right, so that's a little bit a ways from where we're currently trading right now. But that's this week's expiration cycle. So there is most definitely room to run. But one thing to note, at 275 currently, where we are stalling out, we have 8,000 open contracts, okay? So you can see that we're starting to stall out a little bit. We've surpassed the 270. We're north of that now, guys. But 280 with 23,000, closer to 24,000 open contracts there. So watch for a little bit of a rejection, and that's during this week's expiration cycle, okay? So those are the things that we went over, CSAI, TSLA via options, and then Tesla call walls. That might be in play for this week. Look for a rejection of 280. And Obi, I'm curious to think about I'm curious of your opinion here. Do you think that this is a cover rally into tomorrow's tariffs, or do you believe that we've already priced some of this in? I don't know. We have to be patient and wait and see. But what I'm always going to be cautious about is, okay, we put in this really, really nice rally. Tesla up 5%. The market trading really good. IBIT up 4%. Amazon positive as well, too. But is this just a rally into a potential dump tomorrow? I don't know. I'm not going to say it's going to happen. Have we priced in some of these tariffs? Have we priced in reciprocal tariffs? I don't know. So we just have to be patient, and as Obi likes to say, like, follow the price action, etc. All right. So again, be prepared for a potential sell-off tomorrow. It may or may not happen, but it's a really nice, strong rally. And if the market does decide to rally tomorrow, then I'll be more than happy to participate on it.
I think that's fair, man. I think we can. You never know. It could be a buy the news event, right? It's a very, like, everyone's kind of anticipating. We've sold off into it. But at the end of the day, like, I don't really know. And something I've been trying to do a little bit better is not really think too much about like predicting the action and predicting the thing. Like, trying to stay as far away as I can from being an analyst, because at the end of the day, I want to be a trader, and that means that I am reacting to real-time price action for the stuff that I do. I know there's other ways definitely that you can kind of look into things and kind of place bets on what you think might be solid probabilities of events to come. But again, that's way above my pay grade as of right now. But yeah, tomorrow I'm just going to react to what comes in. I'm aware that we could have some volatility. I'm keeping that in mind, and I'm going to keep an open mind, just being like, all right, if we go up, I want to see this, I want to do this. If we go down, I want to see this, I want to do this, and then we'll see what the market does. And I just want to be as prepared as possible, right? Exactly. At the end of the day, tomorrow, whatever tomorrow brings, I just want to be as prepared as possible for what that price action may bring. Volatility definitely expected. I think that's a given there. And yeah, should be interesting. A lot of people definitely kind of in anticipation, waiting in anticipation for this to come in. Some price action kind of getting a little speedy here as the TQs catch a bit of a bid back.
We broke through the highs here on IBIT. I like this for a potential short here, Obi. You can see we had this nice indecision print, but we now blew through that on the 5-minute as well too. So you can see that there's isolated volume, but then we just went past that. So I'm going to be a little bit more patient on this turnaround because we do seem to be relatively strong, and I don't want to fight the trend just yet. Okay, but Sadie B, don't think I forgot. Hey, Joe, I have a few MSTR April 17th 360 calls. I bought them a few months ago. I'm down on them and trying to decide my drop dead date to sell. Any thoughts? Let's take a look at MSTR and see what we got going on. MSTR. And see, like, let's just start off, like, I don't love MSTR, right? So you bought 360 calls. Ooh, okay, we're trading at like 303 right now, and they expire April 17th, so that you got about 3 more trading weeks, maybe. That's the issue here, Obi. Like 360 here, so you're gonna have to punch through some of these resistance zones. Yeah, this is a tough look. I'm just gonna start by saying I wouldn't, if I want Bitcoin exposure, I'm either gonna go with the actual underlying or IBIT itself, significantly cheaper. I think it moves a little bit better. Again, but if you like strategy, micro strategy, whatever you would like to call it, 360 calls by the 17th. I'm not aware of when you bought them, but I'm gonna look at it as you bought them a while ago, somewhere at the money maybe. I don't want to guess what you've done, but you have a ways to go. So let's take a look from a percentage metric to see how much you need this to appreciate. So you need a 20% move in 3 weeks in MSTR just to get to 360. And if you bought those a while ago, chances are you've chewed up a lot of the extrinsic value, so the time value in those contracts. So then you would need it to drastically exceed 360, so like 380s, 390s in order to start turning a profit. I could be wrong. I don't know when you bought them, but just right, like this is what I like what you said is just decide. Come up with a plan. Decide what you want to do with that plan. How much more of the value of those contracts are you willing to give up? Right? Ask yourself that, and then set a stop based on that thesis. And then the same thing for a profit target. If you get into 370 and you're green, or you've been reading them drastically for a while, then just assess what you're comfortable with or what you're slightly uncomfortable with, because that's what you want to do, and then make a trade plan around that, because that's all I can tell you. And I'm just going to be frank with you. I don't want to mislead you or anything along those lines. I don't necessarily love that trade. And if you want Bitcoin exposure, do what my friend Pizza Rat's doing, is go with IBIT or something along those lines, right? If you want to be able to hedge and you want to be able to buy options, I think IBIT for that Bitcoin exposure is the way to go. But I could be wrong. You could hit 360. You could have some massive Bitcoin rallies, and MSTR continues in that path as well. So just take that into consideration, and I obviously hope the best for you there. I don't see how many puts covering. Okay, and then January. Okay, so you bought them in January. So yeah, like you've been chewed up for about 3 months now, just in a theta perspective. So ask what you want to do. How much more of those contracts are you willing to lose, and then base a stop off of that. And then Dylan Patel, you were asking about those 240 Tesla puts. Not looking too good either, unfortunately. Let's take a look at Tesla from a daily perspective. So you would need it to give up, but tomorrow was deliveries. Don't forget that, all right? So that can send this stock south of 240, and then maybe back into these levels if the street doesn't like it whatsoever, all right? So again, write out that trade plan, come up with the trade plan, and then stick to it. What is the relationship? One more, Obi. What is the relationship that we should consider between delta and theta when we have a lot of extrinsic value in theta, but not a lot of intrinsic value or no intrinsic value from delta? So what is the relationship that we can consider between delta and theta? Okay, so I'm trying to think of the question, because you're right along those lines. So if you have a lot of extrinsic value, so if you only have time value on your contracts, but you don't have any intrinsic value, maybe I'll look at it from a writer's standpoint, so you're selling options. Extrinsic value is good, and you want to keep that delta low as possible. You want to collect as much premium, but that's why I sell 10 delta puts, because that gives me that 90% probability of expiring out the money. Other than that, I think I need a little bit more detail in your question, because I don't understand what is the relationship that we should consider between delta and theta. I don't know if there's a relationship other than from a writing standpoint that you should really focus on the two. If you're buying contracts, just know that theta dwindles the value of the contracts day by day, and delta will obviously is the rate of change of those contracts. But from a writer standpoint, I would think there's more of a correlation. Just again, you want those lower deltas so your contracts don't fluctuate as much, and you have that probability of expiring out the money drastically more there, Obi.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I went on a little bit of a rant there.
No worries, man. I'm always trying to learn more about the options game for sure. But yeah, just this market's continuing to tick back up, coming right back into that 19.6 mark here. So I did get a little bit more short here on the TQs. Tesla's about to stop me out. There it is, 275s and change. So oh boy, that thing is blasting to the upside. Oh wow, did I really get slipped that much on that Tesla push? That was an aggressive push through 275, coming in real hot there. 270 was at almost 275 halves printing on that breakout there. And here comes the TQs as well. See if those break out of their highs. Coming in real hot is the bid continuing to push back up. So yeah, definitely was wrong on that one there. When it comes to Tesla, TQs still have a few more pennies to go before they break their highs on the day today. So this bid is coming in real hot, 19.6s, and then was it 56 80s here on the ES as well. So whoever is long definitely is paying off right now. Look at this action right here. So that's what I was looking at here. A bit of a break of trend there, pulling right back up to come in and test. You can see that again, bigger picture, we are kind of bidding up off of these lows, 243s coming in, and then today some aggressive bid coming in once again here on Tesla as well. So let's wait and watch. The TQ's taking a little bit of a pullback here once again. So yeah, that 19.6 did reject, and that's the thing about trading some of these constituents here is that you can see that Tesla, like TQs comes in and it rejects that 19.6. Tesla breaks out, comes into that 275, 276. Let's see if this action is going to get rejected now as well on Tesla. Again, it could continue to bid up. It is relatively stronger than some of the other Mag 7s on the day today, so definitely don't want to stand in the way of that one as that one potentially comes in. But you can see the TQs coming in pretty strong there. Is that a double top? On the TQs as of right now? No idea. 19.6, right? That's the TQs looking at. The NASDAQ here, 19.6. Seems like an interesting level. We went there a couple of times, and now we're pulling back up off of them. So let's wait and watch and see where is the next trade. Is this the bid falling off? NVIDIA, oh boy. So NVIDIA with a little bit of a double top here I'm seeing. So let's pull that one up real quick. And look at that clean test, Joe. So the high of this high right here, what time did this happen? At 11:24 is 109.49, and this high that just happened at 11:48 is 109.49 as well. So clean double top to the penny here on NVIDIA. Let's see if that brings in any sort of bearish price action. Again, patterns on the chart can repeat. The outcomes that come from those patterns can definitely be very random. Shout out to Mark Douglas for that one there, which holds to be true more often than not. Right? You can have certain chart patterns that may give you an idea of things being maybe more bullish or more bearish. At the end of the day, the outcomes stand to be pretty random, given that chart pattern in itself, right, by itself. But yeah, let's see what happens here as the market catches a little bit of a slowdown. We're having some trouble getting through that 19.6 today. I'm looking at other tickers as well. Intel, I know we were trading that one aggressively over the past few weeks. I've left that one alone a little bit, but that one trending to the downside, not as strong as some of the other chips. So it's still showing that relative weakness that I was observing for the past couple of weeks there as well on Intel relative to the rest of the market, right? Tesla continuing to be strong, 276.30s current high, so glad we got out of that one there. Shout out to Joe. I know he is in that long and strong, continuing
I just took the last bit out there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good, solid trade, man.
Yeah.
You sold all along the way.
Yeah.
That's like all right.
Held that.
Solid.
Yeah. So that's kind of the game plan here. We'll keep an eye out. I like how you said 270 as well there, Obi. We're gonna keep an eye out for that. If we can pull up my screen here real quick. Yeah, I mean this is it, right? I should have added to the trade on multiple occasions. But I didn't. I was just okay. Let me ride this here. So that was the Tesla trade. Nice grab right around the bottom, and then we just take it all the way to the top side there. So thank you, Gorev, my guy. Much appreciated. I'm looking. Okay, yeah. So I think IBIT is starting to set up. Going to start really small on the short side here, Obi. If we crack through the high a day, then I'll just get. I'm just going to get out of the trade. I've already taken I've already taken 3 stabs at it, so I don't necessarily want to go too much because it is trading relatively strong. So there we go. We're in some IBIT, just a small size. If we crack through this high day, then I'll get out. But this is what we had going on here on TSLA. Really, really nice trade there on that. But here we go with IBIT. I mentioned that I took 3 stabs at it before, added heavy, stopped out, went in with just little beak wetters. But then Tesla ended up being the right one. And one thing to note is in my morning notes here, I'll pull. Did I remove them? I said we're sitting on top of R4. IBIT underlying sitting on top of R4. So that's a breakout level. Underlying sitting on top of R4, be patient and look for a breakout. Again, same narrative, and wait for the signals to enter the trade and be cautious if the market wants to sell off. It may display some weakness in the underlying asset. Look to build into a cup, whatever, it doesn't matter how many shares. But anyways, that was the game plan here. And it took a little while to get it going. But that's what I was looking for, and it displayed itself. But it took a little bit longer than what I was expecting, and hence why the trade didn't really work out. So Xbane's much appreciated. How I'm working this now is buying dips, selling pops. I would want it to not be this extended. Yeah, and I agree with you from an extension standpoint. If you just look at the Qs, the SPY, and some of these other big names, NVDA, Amazon, IBIT, they're really extended from the volume weighted average price. Are we going to get a retracement all the way back there? Maybe, I don't know. Only time will tell, as I often say. But yeah, that's the game plan. And for my friend who was asking about ANET, they said that they had some calls here that expire in June. I like that. Okay, first of all, you're buying yourself time. That's one thing that you'll always get the nod from me. Let's see how much we're down from the peak here to the current trough. 41%. So if you're looking for that oversold bounce, one, I like that you just bought them further dated out so you don't have to worry about time decay too much. 2, I hope you have a stop in place. 3, I hope you have a game plan. And that's it. Other than that, I'm not going to say no, I don't like this trade. I do like this trade because you are down more than 40% and you're looking for that oversold bounce and you bought a lot of time in your options contracts, which I think is extremely, extremely important. All right. So one more, Obi. Joseph, can we please talk 1 minute about how you guys are looking the tariff day of tomorrow? Do you think that there are opportunities or the consensus is that the market will tank? And Obi said it perfectly. Unfortunately, if we knew what would happen, then a lot of us would have a lot of money. But that unfortunately isn't the case. You have to wait for that price action to play out. Be patient and do what the price action is telling you. And I think Obi could agree on that.
Yeah, definitely. I think you gotta respect the chart, respect the price action, and again, I'm myself on the journey to doing that a little bit better. I can definitely still have a lot to improve on when it comes to respecting some of that action and the tape, the price action. Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, this is going against my idea. And I'm like, oh, I hold on for a little bit longer instead of respecting the action, being like, okay, just get out, get back in, right? If it starts, you don't know. But if it starts working, you can just get right back in. There's nothing to be, too worried about there. As long as you're managing risk on the day and you've given yourself enough kind of bullets for the hunt, then yeah, you can always just get right back in and make sure you're being precise with some of those entries. I think that's really important as well. And then these are all things that I'm working on, right? Looking at some of these chips here, ARM taking a little bit of a pullback. Again, we just talked about Intel, NVIDIA, though NVIDIA is still kind of trading near its highs. We still have that double top at that 109.49 there, trading currently at 109.25, so still haven't taken that out. This 19.6 might be a little important in terms of the information it can potentially give us in the very near future and seeing what we do in and around it. But it seems like this bid is potentially catching right back up as we continue to the upside here on the market. So I think I say that if we break that those double tops there, then yeah, we definitely are poised for a little bit of further action to the upside, continuing this bid that we've been getting since about, when is this, about 10:20, 10:30-ish when that bid came in. So about an hour after the open on the whole market pretty much. But yeah, let me know in the chat what you guys are trading. What else do you guys have eyes on? I want to know. 275s on Tesla, a little interesting. That wick to 280 is not real. That wick actually only goes up to, where's the high of day on Tesla today? 276. 276.31 is the current high, currently trading at 276, 275.30s. So yeah, still bidding up, still holding that uptrend. So yeah, I'm waiting. I can be patient. I can wait for, if I'm looking to take this back down, I can wait for it to stair step down. I can wait for it to pull back in below some of these prior levels. Let's see if that 275 holds as some resistance, or does the market break up and we get that tailwind and we trade a little bit higher here on the day today. So I have no idea. Like I said before, I'm just trying to flow with this price action, trying to catch some of these trades as they potentially come in. And if they don't, that's perfectly fine. More than willing to lose. And we were talking about this a little bit yesterday. Like what I'm starting to realize is some of the best traders have like a 20-30% win rate on their trading. So it's like, all right, that really goes to show how many times you really have to be willing to lose in order to win really big, right? So it's like, yeah, it's obviously your risk to reward, and your edge obviously matters on that kind of trading. But again, 30% win rates for some of these 7, 8, maybe even 9-figure traders.
Bigger dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I would personally, and I think this is where it becomes really subjective, and you have to find your style. I mentioned that, okay, I went 0 for 4 to start, and then I had one winning trade that essentially brought me back to break even, back to life. But I personally, my style, I would rather have a slightly higher accuracy, and that's just me personally, and that's just I find better. And that's just from collecting data as well too over an extended period of time. I find that after trade 4 or 5, my accuracy will just drastically dwindle. So we'll take that into consideration. But guys, we're gonna go to happening now with Neil. Oh, okay, with Adara. Sorry, I thought it was Adara.
Happening now is with me, though we will see Neil in a second for his always exciting lesson of the day. Here's the NASDAQ. As I'm talking to you, we just made a new day's high, so lots of strength there after a very weak Q1 for the market and also for stocks like Tesla. S&P 500 also propelling to the upside up about 0.5% as of right now. Let's see if Q2 can shake off some of those woes that we saw in the first quarter. And MAX, this is an incredible look at IPO that opened yesterday, trading at $14, highs of almost $200. Currently, though, trading around $150. Lots of volatility. Be careful with this one. And also, I would like to show you all, I haven't even posted this yet. This is the update for those Jimmy Carter picks that we made on that Jimmy Carter stream on January 9th. So from the start of January 10th, here's how these picks are doing. I'm actually the only person here whose picks are actually positive on an ROI basis. I'm going to post that infographic and this one very soon. But basically, if you pick Tesla or BTC, you were pretty much to the downside again. We'll be posting these updated infographics on X imminently. And we're going to see Neil and his always exciting lesson of the day. Over to you.
Apparently, don't bet on Bitcoin is the lesson of the day there. Well, you know what? I mean, Tesla obviously got rugged, and it's always more interesting how is it doing versus the overall market, because the market's been taking a little bit of a beating. But anyways, back to what was. I didn't know that was going to be what we were looking at, so I was kind of prepared to do lesson of the day here, and then saw that graphic, and it's like we could talk about that graphic for a little bit in here.
Like, come on, Joe. Like, come on, Joe.
Tesla, man. What is up with Tesla, bro?
Come on, Joe.
Joe.
Come on, man.
Come on. But these picks were for the whole year.
Yeah, they're for the whole year, and you have to look at it relative to the market, because ultimately, if we have a down year of like 5% and you beat it by like going down 2% or being flat, I think you did pretty well overall. Obviously, everyone should have just picked NMAX. Not that you could have known, because it wasn't even out at that time.
Didn't I pick MLGO or whatever?
You didn't pick my
No, I didn't. No, next time.
Next time.
All right. See ya.
Those were on my picks.
Oh, yeah. Obi's
don't
picks.
even try.
Obi's picks.
I had NMAX. I had
Obi had
ICCT.
Obi had Dogecoin. What else,
I had
Obi?
Dogecoin as well.
No, Doge would have got smoked.
I would have had swing shorts.
Oh, hey, let's make a pick now, everybody. Okay, I'm picking Meta.
Oh, that's not. Shoot.
Okay, I'm cool with that. Amazon.
Amazon. Okay,
Amazon. I'm ready in Amazon. Let's go.
Now I got to pick something else? Shoot. No, but you're
No.
picking
I'm adding.
They're
I'm
red on the here.
picking from
My
right now.
safe picks, though, the Boeings, the Lilies, and the UNH. Lily slightly up, and UNH and Boeing are flat. So it seems like as of right now, these safer names are the way to go for 2025. But of course, that can always change. I'm doing this every single month, this update.
Safe schmafe.
Safe schmafe? Oh,
I know
Shoot
it's
or
not.
shoot, man.
It's really.
Hey, listen,
Adair's gonna win this pretty easily.
I'm doing a Hail Mary here, so it's either I'm dead last or
Hail
it's just
Mary
gonna be
or-
a complete blow out the water here, but it's not looking too good. So
well, what's crazy is I picked 2 safe plays, and ultimately it's the one that wasn't a safe
I
play.
mean, I picked the Dow
that's gonna bear
Jones.
it.
I mean, what the?
Yeah, I thought IBM was a safe play
Coinbase
for,
is really
for a
a
year
problem.
like this year, for sure. You know what? By the way, just
All right.
actually, NMAX is going parabolic right now. And I want to talk about squeezes because the lesson was going to be about these squeeze plays and something that I saw in actually in CoreWeave. Like it's NMAX yesterday, CoreWeave today, but you're talking about when you trap shorts. Like, what does this squeeze look like? When it's just going to the upside yesterday, that's sort of obvious. NMAX, a little bit of a continuation play today. But when shorts get comfortable and then get broken, that's where you start to see acceleration. So everyone wanted to talk about NMAX because of what it did for most of the day. But it was really about what we saw in CoreWeave, which I actually typed it right. I've been bungling this. It's like muscle memory wants to type in CrowdStrike every single time. But CoreWeave, it 100% trapped shorts today. There's almost no question. Like if you looked at it's only traded a couple of days. With yesterday breaking underneath the lows, holding the lows, it looked like it was another one of those, oh, we're going to fail the first level and come back in. It got underneath the prior bars. It was trending down. It even did like a little consolidation off VWAP with a lower high. And that's when you trap a few shorts and then the trend just goes to the upside. Now, what are you trying to do here? Like I wasn't looking at CoreWeave for anything except for a short off of 40, which technically would have worked, but I was trading other things at the time. Look what happens when it goes into first resistance. Like this is the problem. This is how things start to squeeze. When you get to a level where the shorters are like, okay, this is our spot. When that turns out to be an absolute ramp job and it just starts buying off of those same levels, this is where the shorts get blown and then it goes through 40, which is your next stop to the upside. And you get the acceleration much later because it's not as if, when you're squeezing, it's not as if it's just gonna start going ham right away. Because people that short for, not just day traders, people that short for longer term, like people that bet that NMAX are going to go down to $10, they're not holding it for 30 minutes. They're betting they can hold that for multiple days. And anybody, weeks even, anybody thinking that CoreWeave was going to make fresh lows and continue down, they were probably like, oh, I can still build in. I can still build in. I can still build in. Oh, wait a minute, we're losing 40. But the acceleration comes when it breaks out the actual high. Because it's steady Eddie, and if you can get in early, great, but it's steady Eddie until it takes the top off and starts destroying everybody. Obviously, you could have had a closer look at CoreWeave today. It's one of those ones where, hey, you can only look at so many names at once. I want to give one more example because this is where it started for me, was the real, like the biggest short trap. Like I was looking long on IBIT today, went 0 for 2, but look at what happens when it traps the shorts. Because it holds VWAP, breaks down way too early on this. It's just trending the entire way in off the open range. Makes the bottom well after 10 o'clock. So you're trending for the entirety of the open range. The acceleration was swift on this. And this is what comes down to trapping shorts. Now, I'm not saying this is a traditional short squeeze. It's not like IBIT's not CoreWeave. The Bitcoin's not CoreWeave. It's not Newsmax. It's not Newsmax or anything like that. But it's the same principle that you get acceleration, the better the shorts look and the better it looks like they can hold a trend. So I'll slap the fail on myself because I could have taken the same break of the open range and it hasn't looked back. Actually looking a bit of a meaner version right now that you're into some resistance. But overall, when you're looking for shorts to be trapped, when you're looking for squeezes to happen, start thinking about those big, massive pain points. And CoreWeave gave you a perfect example of that today, where the shorts were comfortable, kind of still okay, but when it hit the pain point and you observed that some of them got trapped early, it was just a clean breakout. fresh high. It's only 3 days worth of data, but sometimes that's an advantage. It's not like you had a lot of levels to look at for CoreWeave. Like, what's the one top that can blow out that the shorts are afraid of? Well, it's traded for 3 days. The high on the first day, that was 41.88, or 41.90. It topped there, tried to hold. There is your breakout of that same level, completely clean. Very, very clean breakout, because that's a lot of shorts that have to cover in that range, and you could have had a good scalp trade. I'm not saying you're going to hold it for the entire 10% of the move, but it's not like you could have lost. So a lot of times when that pressure gets built up in a stock that you know people are trying to short or playing to the downside, just take that quick little breakout at that pain point, take advantage of it. Wish I had looked closer at CoreWeave today. Probably worth looking at VWAP on the way back in, because remember, what did we say, 41.8 was that prior high going into today? VWAP sits pretty much at that same spot. I'd look long off this 41.5 to 42 area on CoreWeave. Crazy mover, we've seen tons of them, so you gotta have some plays for those insane breakouts. Go CoreWeave. Go Kathy Wood, she bought some of this, I think. There's your lesson of the day. You bought CoreWeave, right? Yeah, she did,
Thank you for that.
Thank you very much, Neil.
Yes, yes. CSAI, a lot of people going on about CSAI here today, Obi, before. Again, nice look here, guys. We went over this not too long ago. As the market is continuing to climb higher and higher, I'm short some IBIT, multiple topping signals, but back to CSAI. One thing to note here, as you can see, nice strong volume as we go in the ascend here, but then as we pull back, that volume is really starting to die off here, guys. So that's a good signal that it might start to move back in the other direction. If it starts to pick up, then you might get that VWAP play, but really good look there on CSAI. And then we're gonna go on to Amazon real quick before I send it back to my guy. Yeah, I know this is my pick, and why, Gorev, I don't know if you're still in the chat, brother. But so anyways, I had a ratio spread here, got all the way up to here, and then I ended up getting stopped out. But then we print this candle yesterday, and I'm like, all right, let me put a little bid lower here on these contracts, and then we got into Amazon around 187. Multiple contracts now climbing higher. 192.98 is what we are currently trading at. Now it is my job to find where we might run into some possible resistance as NVDA is starting to pull back a little bit. IBIT coming in as well too. I am short IBIT. Let's take a look at the options chain and see what Amazon is telling us and if we're in for some more moves. Okay, 195, 7,000 open contracts. That's not that large. 197.5, 10,000 open contracts. Then we get to that 200 strike, 18,000 open contracts, and 19,000 at 205. So let's see how we react around 197 and 200 here on AM, Z, and OB. And then we have that call wall as well at Tesla at 280, guys.
Yeah, so that 280 definitely interesting. We're kind of seems like we're headed right into that. Only about two and some odd points away. Trading 277s as of right now. So about three points away as of right now. But from the high, I think it went to a high of what is this? 245, 277.45. The high on Tesla as of right now. So 277. So this bid is coming in. We talked about that 19.6 mark. That 19.6 coming in real hot. They're trading above that prior high. That was 19.6 and some change here on the NASDAQ and pushing even higher. So yeah, the futures definitely catching a bit of a bid. You can see that NVIDIA broke that 70s there. 109.72 highs there on NVIDIA. Amazon pushing fresh highs as well. 193 halves there. Google as well. We saw Google kind of selling off over the past couple of days of trading. Today, distinctly different, catching that bid back to the upside. 158.10s. Trading at 158.05s as of right now on Google. But Apple, man, Apple's kind of Apple's pretty tame here on the day as well. You can see that Apple, everything else is running to the upside. You can see Apple just kind of chilling, consolidating sideways. It's kind of topped out at that 223.40 mark there, and still consolidating, holding higher highs and higher lows here. Higher lows more than higher highs. You can see the opening range low all the way down at 218.90. The second test in the 220s, and then over here, triple twos for the third kind of higher low on the bigger structure here on the intraday on Apple. But yeah, interesting that it is relatively weak when it comes to the rest of some of these names. I know one that I'm not really looking at as of right now is Meta, but Meta as well pushing to the upside. You can see that it is also trying to print some fresh highs on the day. So right away, I want to go to a higher time frame chart here on the spider and see what the SPY is up to and see if we can find some levels here to potentially work with. You can see that strong selling that came in last Friday. We're kind of coming into some of those reference prices as of right now. So that strong sell on Friday being wiped with yesterday's action and today's as well. So one day to kind of flush down and gap down, open up on the gap down and bid up, and then bid up the second day as well. So some continuation from prior day happening here on said markets. But yeah, reference highs there. We got 566s on the spider, currently trading at 562s. So that was kind of that volume that came in, and I forget it was which economic number came in on Friday, but bringing in some of that volume as well into the market. Let's see if we kind of slow down here, pulling back into that 19.6. So let's see if that level now turns into more of some support as I continue to try and fade these markets, but definitely not working as of right now. So I'll be patient. I got a little bit of risk on, but willing to try a couple times here on the day. Pretty aggressive bid, Joe. I have no idea when this will slow down, but it seems like we are reverting the crazy selling that we've been, or starting to revert a little bit of the crazy selling we've been getting over the past couple of weeks. So let's see if this is the bottom. I don't know. People were talking about a little bit of that yesterday and today. So no idea if it is, but the action is definitely showing itself. Buyers are definitely in charge on the day across the board here. Yep. Yeah, can't really argue with any of that.
No, you can't argue with any of that. Again, we're both in some short positions, identical thesis. We're just extended multiple topping tail candles on some of the underlying assets here. I like the ones on IBIT. You can see some of the selling pressure here on the 5-minute. So multiple prints here of indecision. I don't know how deep this pullback is going to be, but we'll be patient. If we run into 48.29, then we'll look to start taking some off, because that's the next support level, right? You can see it was acting as prior resistance, and then now you can get that over-under type of effect where it's going to act as support around 48.30s, and that's what we'll be patient and hold on to. I added here, as we had the inability to crack through this high, so I'm at like a fraction of a risk unit here. No new high, then I add as we break through some of these supports, and that's what we're going to wait for, is this next base around 48.30, and then we'll start to trim off of this position. I mean, Obi's right. Amazon is still just grinding higher. It's looking absolutely fantastic here, guys. A nice print here on the daily. We love this one. Really, really strong bottoming signal. Down 25%. From the top to yesterday's low, 24% to be exact. That is a hefty haircut in Amazon, and I know a lot of analysts have this as one of the better performing on the year. AWS, fantastic, love it, and everything that they got going on. So here we go, starting to squeeze here in Amazon, and I do believe that we have some blue sky territory up until 197. Are we going to get there today? I don't think so, but maybe by the end of the week, we got to be weary of what comes tomorrow. So I'm going to look to trim some of these calls, actually, because they have actually performed very, very well here today. So I will do that after, but this is what we got going on Tesla. This was my last out here, and then you can see that we continuously went on a higher grind. So up 13% is TSLA, so half of that is Tesla. So using that 2-to-1 leverage product to kind of capitalize on some of those gains there, guys. So that is TSLA. And then, yeah, you guys know that what I got going on IBIT. We took a couple stabs on it, didn't work out, but then that one solid trade really, really put us back in the game, and now that's why we're going short, and I do believe that we may break 48.40 right here, right now, OB.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, just watching this action, man. I'm looking for that bid to kind of step down. Not really happening as of right now, but yeah, taking a couple of stabs at it, just little dabbles there along the way. Just feeling it out. So if and when it does come in, I do want to be a little involved with that one there. But yeah, kind of fighting the trend here. That's something again, we talk about this. Some of my worst days end up being the ones where I am fighting said trend. But let's see if that can potentially come in. As of right now, again, looking for that potential reversion, not really seeing any sort of selling coming in. So just being patient, waiting. Amazon still continuing to push some fresh highs there. So shout out to your calls on that one there. Great snipe on that one. Beautiful action yesterday. We were talking about some of that, and coming in today as well with that continuation. Let me know in the chat what you guys are trading. I'm curious to know what people are involved with as of right now in the markets. Again, if you are in a long, definitely laughing straight to the bank with some of those. Let's take a quick look at some of the volume leaders on the day as well. ICCT, again, like I said, I've been keeping a closer eye on some of these small to mid cap runners there, Joe, just kind of trying to study them, being, like I said before, a little bit of a ranked game from my perspective, because I don't necessarily have strong playbooks on the action that some of those present.
Prestige. But, have the prestige to get there.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta, you know. Definitely, let's see. I'm in the process of potentially building playbooks around some of those, but interesting reversions that do happen on those. Just got to be careful. Tesla here, you can see Tesla and NVIDIA both very strong. There goes NVIDIA, some fresh highs there on NVDA. Oh boy, gonna get stopped out again. All right, cool. Getting a little chopped up here on said TQs. 59s coming in here as the futures push up to that 19,650 mark. So continuing to kind of look through these volume leaders. Ford is on here. Lucid as well. Lucid, I know people were talking about Lucid a couple weeks ago. We've been doing some relative volume in the pre-market sessions here over the past few sessions, and nice little tick up with the rest of the market as well on this one. Let's see. I'm also looking at what you guys are talking about in the chat. So I saw some MSTR there. So let's take a quick look at MSTR. Wow, what a V shape off of the morning, and then breaking through those highs, continuing that strong bid to the upside as of right now. So nice little push there on MSTR. Micron and Hood saying Cal Mando. So let's take a quick look at Micron here.
Okay.
Back to the futures.
Okay. You know what's funny? I was singing it. Back to life.
Back to reality. I forget who that's from, but yes.
However do you want it? From Belly. Do you remember that movie?
No, I don't.
However do you want? You never seen that movie?
No.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Belly, come on, man. Belly's one of the sickest movies. I know Neil's probably seen that one there. Belly. Easy. He's watching him. Yeah. Neil's watching him right now.
Tariff news.
Yeah, there we go.
Boy.
Push to the downside here for these markets. Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, was asked here, do we have any clarity on tariffs? She said that Donald Trump has made some determinations, but she does not want to get ahead of his big day or his announcement, so he's not going to say anything about that right now. But she said we'll find out in about 24 hours. So this is interesting, too, because we were hearing that he was going to be doing the announcement in the Rose Garden at 4 p.m. Now, this was not specifically or explicitly mentioned to be the tariff announcement, but apparently the tariff announcement is also supposed to be happening in the Rose Garden. So if I see anything else, I'll let you guys know. Again, as of right now, we're expecting the Rose Garden announcement at 4 p.m. Eastern. That is also, again, the announcement where he is expected to shed light on tariffs, which apparently he has decided on, but he's not going to share with us as of right now. Back to you.
Yeah, so Obi's, the short's starting to curl over here, guys. We're getting things to start working here in IBIT, so that's looking pretty good. I mentioned 48.30 is where we're going to start to trim a little bit as we run into these levels. So there we go. We'll take some off here, guys, just a little bit of 5% or so. So there you go. Yeah, you're getting that pullback now. So breaking through some of these levels, 48.20 is going to be that next out here on IBIT. We're going to be a little bit patient and wait for that to come in. Hopefully it doesn't come to my break even and hold some of these support levels here, Obi.
Yes, sir. So yeah, coming in there. So got a little lucky. I was getting more and more aggressive with that short. Finally, potentially coming in here on the TQ. So I am kind of sizing down significantly there. That last little push, I was like, all right, this is it here, and we happen to get a little bit of tariff news on that push down to the downside here. So let's see if we can get down into 58.50s. My average, again, not necessarily the best, only about 20 pennies away from where we're trading at. The average doesn't necessarily matter. We got some news here as of right now, so I want to stay involved with this ticker. Maybe even add a little bit more as we come into the downside. But yeah, that was pretty aggressive action to the downside. No idea if we're going to get that continuation as we speak, but again, I got to stay patient with that one here as it potentially comes right back in. So funny enough, we tried so many times there. That flush kind of brings me back to where I was when I started trading this and got chopped up multiple times. So you know what, it is what it is. Happened to be okay, I guess, on the day. Yeah, I think on this chop, I was getting aggressive. I gave back a decent chunk of my day there, and then bringing it all back on that flush there. Just happened to be a little bit more aggressive. But that is sometimes the trading, you know. So we'll wait on this one here. Let's see if that flush, the selling kind of coming in here. Let's see if we can break back down below 16.8 on the NASDAQ and break that bid to the downside. But yeah, it's coming right back in. So a lot of volatility here with these tariff news. Again, shake and bakes definitely on the horizon. A lot these days. We can see that since kind of Trump's been in an office. Every time he mentions the word tariffs, we get a strong flush to the downside. So those algos definitely cooking, the ones that are scraping the web for anything with Trump plus tariff, first news, official thing, what do you call it? Official source, insta short the market. Boom. Down, take that scalp off, maybe. I don't know. That's what's been happening. But oh boy, definitely covered a decent chunk. I'd say over 80% I've covered from that push down. So we were looking at, so I got a lot more here on this push up, get stopped out. These are the TQs on the 3 minute. I see that we hold this 59 by a penny. So I have the most shares here, and then when we break this little bit of trend, I get in a little bit more there. And now, wow, holy, we're coming into the downside. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Why? Okay, you know what? I don't care why I covered too much. As of right now, I got to stay in the zone, trading in the zone here, Joe. Take some more off as the TQs pulled right back in. Can we get down to VWAP here on the futures? No idea. TQs VWAP at 57.24s here on the P-Pro chart. Where are we at? 57.30s. That's a point lower, Joe, and that is coming in real hot. So thank you for joining us on this session of How to Trade. And I do not know how to trade. I'm still learning, but trades are working out. Trades are working out. Right? Like I said, I had to be wrong 4 times before it actually came in, and I didn't even know it was going to come in like this. So get a little lucky as well along the way. Let's see if 58s can potentially come in here on the NASDAQ. We can see that 19.6 is straight flush down, taking out some of those maybe short-term participants, as well as we pull a little bit lower to the downside. I will start covering a little bit more here on the way down. I should stop the cover soon and just give it to a prior bar for a proper trail on the position. Because if we are, Joe, if we do get down to VWAP, right? Here's the thing. We got to start thinking about it this way. If we do get down to VWAP, let me cover some more here. As the sellers come in, I will buy and provide some liquidity. All right, so 58.30s on the TQs. But yeah, look, all the way down 57.25 I have here as VWAP. Is it going to get there in a clean line? I have no idea, but it's got to get through some traffic, right? Some of these strong pullbacks that gave you and that showed us the strong bid, like what is the low on this candle right here? All right, that's where I kind of structured this trend. What's the low on that candle? I am asking, the low is 58.25. We're about 4 pennies away from that. So that gets taken out. Next stop, where's this low? This low is at 58 flat. We just rejected 59 flat by a penny. So what are the chances we break that short-term bid and come back down into players that are potentially risking through that 58 level? I don't know, but as the price ticks lower and holds that resistance, holds some of those supports as resistance levels, I think the probability starts going up a little bit in the shorter time frame. But let's see if we can get down to 58s. 57, definitely not going to be a clean path all the way down there. But oh boy, did I cover a lot as soon as it dropped down 20 pennies there. But you know, it is what it is. I got to do a little bit better with that profit taking as well. But yeah. TQ's coming in, tariff news, selling coming in, and who is that cutie on your screen?
Yeah, this is Milo, man. This is the. If we could pull up my screen here real quick.
Oh, boy.
I know a couple people in the chat were asking about him, but there he is. I want to
What's
name
his
him.
name?
His name's Milo.
Milo.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to call him Raptor, though. I like Raptor. Just you know what I mean. I think it's good. He's not really fierce, but Raptors are that fierce. But he's a cute little guy right there. So there you go. So there you go. There's that little guy right there with the, we got the awe on that one.
Yeah,
So there you go, Milo, AKA Raptor himself. So yeah, the new superstar.
Beautiful,
So,
beautiful little puppy.
Yeah,
But how old is he?
he's going to be like 9
weeks?
Yeah, something like
Okay,
that.
9 weeks,
Yeah,
let's go.
brand new,
Nice.
yeah. Well, he's grown. He can start paying rent soon and
Oh,
stuff
boy,
like that.
yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
So so I've never had a puppy before.
Oh,
High maintenance?
Yeah, well, we don't got him yet. We don't pick him up till the 11th, but what we're hearing around the board is that it's pretty high maintenance. Be prepared for slips and spills, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. Yeah, he's a big old boy. It's a Raptor. We'll keep an eye out on that guy and Selena wants to make him Instagram famous, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, why not? You know what? If you have like really, oh wow, here comes some more selling.
Yeah.
I think we might be poised to make another 15-minute red bar here on the Nasdaq itself. We did give up that 19.6. Now we're breaking trend. Now trend breaks are confirming. Players who like to get in on the confirmation are potentially getting in here as well. Let's see if that selling can bring us in a little bit more. To the downside as we break power bar low here on the 15-minute for a second time in a row. And the TQs I was talking about, where is the next stop? So that 58 flat, we're about 10 pennies away from that 58 flat as the Nasdaq continues to push a little bit lower here. And you know what? Maybe I want to do this. I want to take some through that 58 flat here as well, just to add. Again, my average being 70s, I think that I can add a little bit here, still being a little safe. So you can see it brings it down to halves, 58 halves. Let's see if we can continue to the downside here. All the way down to VWAP, 57.26s on VWAP here. So I got to trail this a little bit here. Oh, more tariff news I'm hearing from Adara. So we're just going to pass it over to her and see what is up with tariffs.
Tariff announcement update here. So Caroline Leavitt, press secretary of the White House, basically said that when asked about the tariff, said that the tariffs, once announced yesterday, will go into effect immediately, and that if it wasn't April Fool's, they'd go into effect today. So basically, once these tariffs are announced on April 2nd, that's when it's going to go into effect. Also, a lot of people have asked questions here about the market with regards to how President Trump and the administration feels about these drops in the market. And Caroline Leavitt has said basically that this is a short-term issue, and then in the end, the market will be okay. So basically, Donald Trump is not super worried about the short-term market. According to White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, back to you.
Oh boy.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you very much, there. More tariff news, so a little bit of a pullback here. So I covered everything there. That 58 held, so maybe those buyers stepping up again. But again, it could not be the case. We could break that 58, and I'll be willing to get involved on a lower high then. But again, getting that 50. So I got 59 to 58 within a few minutes on the Nasdaq on TQs. I think that's something where I can plainly say that, okay, thank you, come again. I'm thankful for getting that whole point within a few minutes there. I do want to re-engage. I do like the short. I liked it all the way from 58 halves all the way to 59s. But again, we talk about getting out, getting back in, getting out, getting back in. And the thing is, getting out, getting back in. But if I think that the EV is higher as we tick up higher, it doesn't make sense for me to have the same size. I do need to get a little bit more there as the EV increases and the risk does become tighter. So the first, I think if I go back, at first my risk was like around 10 pennies-ish, 7 pennies. At the very end, it got down to 5 pennies, and I got very comfortable sizing into what I did. And then added on the break of that trend as well. So here, right here, I think my average was 90s. 90s or I think 92s or 93s, if I remember correctly, and then risking just back up towards that 99. And then when this trend break comes in a little bit more into there, reason to sell, that's a trade in itself. And then coming into that 58, I think that's a trade in itself for a long potential scalp, and it's giving us 30 pennies so far. But the selling's definitely coming in pretty aggressively. Let's see if that trend break can take us any further. and I am looking for the next trade. Where is the next trade? I have no idea. But again, patiently waiting, watching, hunting, and yeah.
Like that one. Yeah, I like
Just waiting, being patient.
just being patient.
Let me know in the chat if you guys. Oh boy, I didn't even realize this.
Right.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know. My risk is different today. So we know how we have an MPP system.
Yeah.
So I usually size relative to my risk, and we hear Sean talk about this as well. Risk units. So it's like, what is one risk unit for me? It's like if my daily shutdown is let's say $500, 10% of my daily shutdown would be $50. So on a given trade, I'm risking $50 if I'm giving it one risk unit. And as the trade gets better, if it becomes a C into a B, maybe a B I'm giving it 2 risk units to 3 risk units. If it becomes an A, maybe I'm taking 7 to 8 risk units and really put on risk on the day. If it becomes the A plus trade, again, those trades, I'm realizing they don't come around very often. The thing is, I'm still learning how to size effectively and properly. I'm like, I know A trades don't come around very often. They might come around once or twice a month. But sometimes I find myself putting on A size on B trades that do come around multiple times a week, right? So B trades will come around multiple times a week. Here comes 58 once again for the test as the NASDAQ tries to take a little bit lower here. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to get a little bit better at, putting the appropriate risk units on for the appropriate kind of trade. And as the trade progresses from a C to a B to an A, because that does happen. As price action builds, as we step lower, I'm like, this is a trade in itself. I can add one risk unit here. I can add another risk unit here. Shout out to the short bear. He has a video on pyramiding that's been really helping me out as of late in terms of how to effectively size into reversions and be in the most size on the best ones. Right, so shout out to that great kind of resource. Old video though, posted it like a year ago, but I posted it in the pod, in the Discord. Yeah,
we'll take a look.
So
at that.
it's in there under one of those channels. But yeah, solid stuff there. But it seems like if we're gonna stair step down, I'm looking for the next trade. If we can, ideally, if we can pop back up into that 19.6 and show sellers, and then come back down and show that that level is kind of, we're making lower highs. I want to see lower highs. Doesn't necessarily have to be at 19.6. But it would be nice if it was there, and then maybe I want to re-engage for a potential push back down into VWAP here. As again, this bid has been quite aggressive, guys. We can take a quick measurement here and oh boy, there it comes in, back down through 57s there. So would you look at that right here? So we bid up for almost 2 hours straight. So 2 hours, we start to slow down at the hour-and-a-half mark right here, and then for the rest, about the hour mark, we start to slow down, and then we take another leg up there, and then pulling back down into that 58 level there. So yeah, that aggressive bid for a long period of time. When that bid kind of steps off, I do want to get a little bit involved in giving myself room to try multiple times over again. And sizing appropriately for the trade is what we're trying to go for. NVIDIA tested that 110, man, 109.97 clean. I'm seeing wipes of the bid here on Tesla. Oh boy, that's coming in real nice. So again, timing was not correct. I was wrong on the trade, but the area definitely is nice. I like to sell that 275 area, and that's coming in real nice as of right now here, along with this market tailwind. This second red candle of the 15-minute chart on both the ES and the NASDAQ, giving us some continuation. We're breaking some of those prior support levels, a little bit of an intraday pullback here in the 19.5s, 19.5, 30s, I think, and some change. And we kind of broke a little bit of that as of right now. So that reversion coming in real nice there, and giving us pretty much a point now. So, oh boy, I definitely have to do a little bit better with holding more of my size when I do get myself into a trade that is working. So that's the thing. I always get so aggressive on the left side of the V. I just got to get more comfortable getting aggressive on the right side. And I you know what? I did that. I think I did that well this morning here on Tesla, where yeah, I'm keeping it really, really light. Like here, this is really light. I'm willing to hold 5 points against me. This is really light. But again, in terms of decision making, this can definitely be stopped out much tighter. Give it a point or two, stop out, try again. Give it a point or two, stop out, try again.
Like
but
how
here,
you just did on TQs.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then, but when this comes, so I did learn that lesson from the morning. So that was good. We make
Quick
progress.
learning.
We made progress intraday as well. And then when this comes in, I did get a look how much more aggressive I'm getting on the right side of the V, and then giving it just to that view up. So this, I definitely, all these outs definitely maybe warrant some adds. And I can just add exactly how much I'm getting out, because this trade was almost never out of the money there, and trading a little bit lower here. Again, tariff catalyst, intraday catalyst, selling has been coming in, and what happens today on some more tariff news? Selling comes in and we continue and we break the 2-hour long bid that we've been having on the market. I definitely got to do a little bit better. If this gets back down to VWAP, oh boy. I mean, it already turned into a B over here as well for me, and maybe potentially if we do get some more price action, maybe it turns into an A plus. Giving. I mean, if I was still involved, again, at this point, you're basically risking break even for all the way up from above 58 halves, let's say. But yeah, still holding that 58 level on here. The TQs. No idea where the next trade is, Joe, but I'm looking for it. If you guys have any ideas, throw it up in the chat. I would love to know where the next trade is, because I'm looking. I'm hunting.
Yeah, he's hunting. You're on. There you go. You're on the prowl there, my guy. Oh, sorry. This is what I wanted to talk about here, real quick. Pre-market high here. Obi, look at this. Pre-market high. Reject the pre-market high. Where is the highest level of open interest on this week's expiration cycle with NVDA? 110. What do we go to? 109.90s roughly. So, oh yeah, and that's what I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about. We're gonna start something, something new, anyways. How much correlation there is between these high levels of open interest and how we reject. I just haven't figured out how we're gonna document that yet exactly. But again, if you guys have the ability to pull up your chains and see what I'm looking at, 110. 38,000 open current contracts on this week's expiration cycle, and then we reject right here on the high day 109.91, and same with the pre-market here. We didn't go anywhere north of 110, so very, very high correlation between these high levels of open interest and how the stocks react. So we're going to start documenting that. I'm going to anyways, and then I'll obviously relay the data to you guys on that front. But just like how we do the Playmaker poll, I haven't yet figured out the format and what key data points and how I'm going to look at it from an open interest standpoint, because we want to look at the highest levels possible. We just don't want to be accepting any level of OI and then be like, okay, let's see how we react. We want to see what stands out to us on the chain and then how the underlying asset reacts around that. So again, if you guys have the ability to pull up your options chain, you'll be able to see that at that 110 strike price expiring this Friday, April 4th, you will see approximately 38,000 open contracts, and you can see how the stock reacted around that. And same thing with Tesla. Also, I didn't realize the type of flooring you use in your house can affect the air quality in the house and can possibly, okay, yeah, Corey, that is very interesting. I mean, it's not very trading related, but yeah, I didn't think, it's pretty serious. I guess it's serious stuff there. So yeah, hopefully you get that figured out. But we're still in this IBIT short here, guys. So we had those multiple topping signals. On the 5-minute time frame, you can see some nice indecision prints, shooting stars, inverted, whatever you would like to call them, gravestone dojis. There's countless names for them. But you can see as we were overly extended, we started to print them. We broke through this one, but then we had multiple prints of indecision, and that's when I'm like, okay, let's use this as our stop, about 5 or 10 cents, whatever it may be, and then we look for that move back to the volume-weighted average price. But it's holding up relatively strong, so I wouldn't be surprised if I get squeezed out up to 48.50 and then have to look to get back into this trade. But BTC, let's see what Mean Green's saying. BTC holding around 85. Next resistance will be 88K. Major resistance to reclaim will be at 92,000. Yeah, we'll pull up Bitcoin just to take a look at the actual underlying asset here. BTC. And we're going to take a look from a daily standpoint, and then we'll take a look at IBIT on the options chain because it also has a drastic effect on this underlying. But yeah, you can see, guys, I talked about this before time and time again. It's just the length of this consolidation, and then you get that move, and then you just kind of go back into chop right into the midst of this breakout range, and then now chopping around it. We put in a low of around 76 and then a high of 88, so roughly 90s. Let's see if we can recover off of this and then break through some of these levels. And I agree with what you said there, Mean Green, is that this is going to be our next level of resistance. And in order for us to break through that, we're going to want to see this volume really step in and break through some of those zones. As you can see that we broke out here, right? And then you can see the correlation between the breakout and the breakout volume. And that's something that we want to keep an eye out on there. So yeah, that's that with IBIT. What we're gonna do, our Bitcoin, sorry, what we'll do is we'll pull up, oh yeah, there you go. Oh, are you all, oh yeah, you're all out there, AOB.
Yeah.
VWAP was the target, no?
Yeah,
Sorry,
VWAP was
you're
the
doing
target,
good.
man.
You're still going, you know what you have to do. Yeah. But yeah, guys, IBIT 50, Pizza Rat, you were looking at the 50 calls here this week's expiration cycle, but that's where we have the highest levels of open interest. If you're looking to buy them out the money and you get around 49.50 or whatever, I would just look to gain whatever extrinsic value you can, because from an intrinsic value standpoint, by the end of this week to go north of 50, when you have that call wall with 37,000 open contracts, that's going to be tough to get through. So just keep that in mind and take that into consideration there, Obi.
Yes, sir. So market's coming in here pretty aggressively. We talked about that second 15-minute candle here, printing green. Only about 15 seconds left to print this candle here. So I'm looking at things pulling back into VWAP here, maybe potentially in the area where the next trade can be found, I'm thinking. But currently this intra this most recent low here, I'm watching that is 57.70 flat on the TQs here. Tesla as well, pulling back right into that 270 level. So VWAP test around the clock here, or on the board, across the board. That's what I'm looking for. Across the board here, VWAP tests coming in potentially. That 58 did give it up there on the TQs. We're trading 70s as of right now. Let's see if some of this buying can come back in here. We did aggressively pull back. Let's see. I got some anchors. I got some anchors up on that intraday news of Tariff. So watching some of those levels as well. Looking for a potential reversion of the mean. Yeah, that's 70 coming in here, 57. So here's a second. Here's the third 15-minute candle since that news came out. So let's take a quick look and see if we can catch a little bit of a bid here finally here. So 2 candles straight down. You can see the length of these candles as well. Pretty aggressive selling that we've had over the past 30 minutes or so on that catalyst with tariffs. Yeah, the bid potentially coming in here. So I'm going to take a quick little stab at it and give it to the low. But yeah, we'll wait. 19.5, right, on the NASDAQ. Let's see if we can catch a little bit of a bounce as the candle starts to form here. We might just be creating a top wick on that 15-minute candle, give us a little bit of a bid, and then continue lower, but I have no idea. We're coming into VWAP, so I do want to kind of start dabbling in a potential idea of a bid coming in. Do we get all the way back down to VWAP? Yeah, sure, maybe, but I do want to try a couple times before as well if I do see some of that selling that came in off of the catalyst start to slow down a bit. 19.5 confluence is also pretty nice, I think, but yeah, where's the next trade? I'm looking for it. RSLS. Tisha Perkins talking about. So RSLS. Let's take Reshape Life Sciences. Okay, interesting. Ooh, okay. This one's been doing some interesting stuff on the day today. Definitely worth watching here. 172 million shares traded with a float of 2.7. So we got a low float runner here on this one. So shout out to Tisha Perkins. Hopefully you are banking on this one. Currently trading to the upside. Is it going to halt up? No idea. But let's see how much it's up on the day. From the day low to current prices, it's up about 162%, Joe. We've been seeing these multi hundreds of percent runners as of late as well, right? As soon as that MLGO came out, that ran like about 1,000%. Everyone's looking for that next MLGO as well. Get a little bit of a shake and bake in the small cap sector. On that news, I see that you got your short IBIT right now. Nice.
Short IBIT from up here.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's holding up this support level as the market starts to take another slight bid to the top side here, guys. I mean, It's holding up relatively strong. That's fantastic for the long term. I would like it to break down. I should have took a little bit more off right here, as I do believe that if the market wants to squeeze, OB's long the TQs now. And if we come back into this zone, then I'll just have to get right out. I still have about 90% of the position here, so I didn't take too much off here at the lows. But then I'll just be prepared for another place to add here, right? So if I see a lot more selling pressure, and then we start to slowly roll over, then I will add to this position. Burak Unger says long Meta. I haven't looked at Meta today. Yeah, Crapstock. That's what I use. I'm curious to what you use as well. But yeah, let's take a look at Meta to see what it's up on the session. I'm assuming, like the rest of the mag, putting in a nice, strong, hefty day. And here you go. Essentially doesn't look back. A nice opening drive on this too, OB. A nice 5-minute opening drive. You can see where we open up, and then if you were to play the 5-minute orb, you just get the crack of that, and then you get a nice 3 or 4 point move, and then it doesn't break through the low of day. So a nice base that you can establish. I know Adair likes trading this. This is a little bit pricey for me, and obviously comes with the spread too. But the nice hold of the volume weighted average price, ABCD pattern, volume as we pull back, really starting to fall off, and I think that's something key to note here. So you can see the strength within the volume. This is what I would classify as an anomaly, right? That's a really strong print, but then there's not that much reciprocal action here on that front. So the effort and result isn't necessarily there. But then when we get above the volume weighted average price, a nice strong push, a nice volume break through there. But then look at this breadth volume, and this is what you want to correlate. And that's where I made my mistake on Tesla this morning, is that not adding on that breadth when I knew I should have, and I was going to build in a little bit more significantly. But then again, I didn't. I'm like, let me ride with what I got, and it is what it is. But then you can see as we take that pull back here and the volume dwindles, but as we start to appreciate in price again, the volume by time profile really starts to pick up, and then we stair step as we go on the ascent here, guys. So that's what we want to look out for. Nice weak volume on the pullbacks, and then buyers stepping right back in, especially when we're looking for the long side. PLTR on the move. Yeah, let's take a look at PLTR and Crapstock. I pay screen with option. Okay, very interesting. Option. I've never heard of that, to be honest with you. But yeah, always something new. There's plenty of them out there. Okay, so nice. Who mentioned PLTR? Marcus James, aspiring pro. Yeah, I really like this bottoming signal here on Palantir. It was actually one of my picks this morning, but I didn't end up trading it. I had IBIT, Tesla, and NVDA, I think that was. But I kind of liked where PLTR was opening up on the Camarilla pivot range, but I didn't end up trading it. So there it is, nice hammer candle. Not as isolated as I would like, but you can see that this volume candle relative to that opening drive print is nice and isolated, and then you have that indecision print here along the lines, and then you slowly climb higher there, Obi.
Yes, sir. So I was a little scalpy there. So when it did slow down on top of that 57.70, I got aggressive. I got long, I got longer, I got even longer back through the 58, and then instantly out like 90% for the scalp. I was like, this in my opinion is a high probability scalp. It ends up going past 58.20s, which is much further than I was looking for. But again, that bid stepping right back in. So I am keeping a little bit, just a breadcrumb on to see if this bid actually can take us back to the upside here. So what was I looking at? Again, you guys saw me get a little aggressive. Again, we can take a look at the 1 minute chart here. You can see this is where I stop out of the short. And did I get long up here? No, I don't think so. No, I think I got long here. Boom, 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 back through 58, kind of not really doubling up and giving it that quick push back in towards another kind of reversion to the mean kind of trade there. And again, it's going way past the mean. So that's a beautiful thing about trading reversions. Sometimes it's like, sometimes it gives you the mean, sometimes it gives you a lot more, sometimes it is really mean and it gives you pretty much nothing. But you can see that selling come in. Remember, I was like, I put on that anchored VWAP from where those sellers come in right here. Again, it's in intraday catalyst as well. So in my opinion, it warrants a little bit of a VWAP to see where we can get to. You can see that sellers are since then just taking in the volume since then. Sellers are in charge. I see the bid kind of hold. I see this trend break. It reverts back into the mean, which is sitting here at that 58.20. And I'm like, all right, I'm taking most of my size back up into there because I don't know if sellers can potentially step back in where they have been on an average basis. But you can see price action is not always clean. If you're using this and you're like, okay, well, sellers have been in charge. When it gets back up here, I'm going to short. You're getting blasted on that trade, right? So it's like, all right, so kind of, just assessing, wow, we're back up 50 pennies. Oh my God. 50 pennies off of that 58 bounce. What a level hold here. That's also a false break of this prior 58 level here. We only get down about 30 pennies. And again, a 19.5 hold on the NASDAQ, giving us that strong confluence coming right back in. So that's a 100-point wipe back up to 19.6s here on the NASDAQ, coming right into 58 halves here on the TQ. So you know what? I'm going to take off more breadcrumbs here and kind of wait for the next trade. I still kind of like the short, but if that bid is going to come in this aggressive and take us into the close like that, I definitely don't want to necessarily fight it. But if this aggressive bid after some strong selling is met with that selling once again, and we make a lower high, of course I want to take it back down into that VWAP. Give us that mean reversion back down into VWAP. We still never touched VWAP. We got down to 57.70s, and VWAP was down at 57.30s. And I said, are we going to have a clean path down to VWAP? Probably not. It's probably not going to be a clean path down to VWAP. So knowing that, trying to go with the flow and roll with the waves, roll with the punches that this market here could potentially bring us. Yeah, this 58 half looking interesting, kind of confluencing once again with that whole level at 19.6s. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a pullback. I don't necessarily want to get short right away. RSLS, I'm seeing there, Tisha Perkins, straight to the upside. So hopefully you are long there on said markets. Here comes a little bit of selling back in. So let's see if that can bring us back down to VWAP here. Adam DeLuz, do you ever look at macro in more detail? I read an article about SPY drawdown with respect to how the Dixie is behaving. Right now we are in an environment where the Dixie and SPY are negative. So I kind of, well, there are times, thank you Adam DeLuz for that question. I do look at the Dixie and shout out to Sean for this one. I remember I started looking at it after one day I was sitting beside him and he was like, you should probably look at the dollar because that plays an effect in some of the moves that are happening on the day that day. And I started looking at the Dixie a little bit more as well. But yeah, kind of higher time frame, I want to look at that as it kind of trending to the downside here as well, off of said highs that we had more recently in and about January of 2025. So just a few months ago, 110.17s. We've been in a bit of a downtrend as well. And the spider, looking at the same kind of 3-hour chart here, you can see off of the highs, breaking that trend, retest of that 580. That was interesting a couple weeks ago. We held a lower high at that 580 on the spider. So are we poised for a little bit of a pullback? I don't know, man. We've had a pretty solid past couple of years on this here market, and a little bit of a 10-15% pullback on the year, 20% pullback on the year, well within range, well within reversion to the mean if you're looking at that for a higher time frame. But again, I don't know what the markets are going to do. I just know what it's capable of doing, and I don't want to stand in the way of it when and if it does that kind of volatility. But yeah, don't really look at macro as much. But again, it's way above my pay grade, Adam DeLuz. That's I know I'm going to leave that for the big boys like you, that manage much larger accounts. But yeah, not really that macro specific. But I like price action, and I think that as oh my God, I'm forgetting as
Time goes on?
no.
Oh.
He says this all the time. I'm blanking.
Blank.
Price action is fractal, right? Michael Noss. Michael Noss. Shout out to Michael Noss. He always says this as well. So price action, I do believe, is definitely fractal. You can see that supply-demand mechanic working on all different kinds of time frames. So I think that just focusing on that has been more of my playbook there. And I was watching this video recently. I posted again in the Discord on edge erosion. and a few solid traders there. Again, Investors Underground. Shout out to those guys as well. Solid trade group there. Those guys kind of posting that video on edge erosion, and I really kind of felt that where it's like sometimes you kind of blame. Thank you, Fabian. Inappropriate things in the ear about edge, but.
Oh, that's crazy.
So 58, see, I'm lost for words now. But no, great video on edge erosion, so you should definitely check that video. He was talking about basically if your playbook and if your idea and if your edge lies around the mechanics of supply and demand, that definitely can't really necessarily erode, and that's the mindset I've always kind of had. So that was kind of affirmation, confirmation on kind of hearing something that I do believe in strongly from a lot more experienced traders as well. So price action being fractal, and supply and demand mechanics obviously showing up on all sorts of time frames, micro and macro as well. So I kind of just go with that. Yeah, so Buttabus Skid saying, I watched that video as well. Yeah, shout out. Yeah, great content from those guys as well. I love the trading community, man. A lot of people putting out some great value, and you can use it. Here's the thing: different points of my trading journey, you revisit the same information and you see it in a different light, and it can help you out in a distinctly different way than if I had maybe seen a video or watched, read a book or watched some information on trading like 5 months ago versus reading it now. Different perspective, taking me into a different place as well. So pulling back off of that 19.6 as of right now, so showing up as some resistance. Look at those sellers coming right back in. Strong quadruped candle here on the TQs here. So you can see that trend broke and then getting that selling continuation back in to these here markets. 19.6, do you hold as some resistance? I have no idea. It's coming back up into that level. But as of right now, in that short time frame, we did pull back a little bit off of that. No idea if that's going to stand going forward. But yeah, I like short-term price action. Sometimes with high probability, I think that you can be like, all right, with the information that's been laid out on the table as of right now, I think the probability of us heading in this direction versus this direction, risking this amount, is higher than this, and more than willing to be wrong on that as well. But I don't know. Sorry, went on a bit of a rant there. But
hey man, you need the rants.
Yeah.
People in the chat need them. I'm
That's how I
listening.
kinda look at
I
things.
learned so much. Here you go, NYC, Urban East. I learned so much from you guys, and trading options has really upped my game. Thanks to Jose himself. Thank you for that one there, NYC, Urban East. Payco OR will hit the money storm for you. I know you're always killing it. And you just come in the chat and just say what you're printing. Why'd you take it off, Payco? Payco, why'd you take that off? I don't understand. Payco just usually, he'll come in, say money storm on whatever ticker, and then that's it. He's gone. He's out the chat. So he's really exclusive. So I'm curious to why Payco took that one off. But I want to get involved. Yeah, very precise, yeah, maybe jump the gun on the profits there. But see, this is the thing here, Obi. I might have got out a little bit too early. This is what I was looking for, and I thought this would maybe be it, but as you can see, we have this nice kind of support base here acting as potential resistance. So I'm like, okay, let's just hold this level, but I got out at the break even here, and then I had another opportunity to get back in, which I want to do here momentarily, but I want to be a little bit more patient here. But NMAX, yeah, people, I know you guys are talking about NMAX, NY Urban East, here you go. NMAX is really, really starting to move. Me personally, I'm going to avoid this name. I don't know how you feel about that there, Obi. But one thing I will pull up here, let me grab some of my notes. I was just doing some things on NMAX. Yes, well, not on NMAX, but just in the broader market. So, which has now definitely changed. And this was when it was sub $1. All right. So NMAX is essentially losing money. They only have about 80 million in revenue last year, but with now that has doubled, so it probably has about a $10 billion market cap. So 80 million in rev with a $10 billion market cap. That is a little hefty. Let's pull up to see exactly what it is right now, because that is absolutely insane. NMAX. Let's see what the market cap is here now, Obi. Yeah, and they're not even giving it to me right now. I guess it's not even on there. So, yeah, we'll be a little bit more patient, but here you go. Starting to approach those highs of days is NMAX 176 and change. And yesterday, we opened up at 14 bucks. Let's see what from a percentage metric. There you go, 1,200%. That is from the trough to the peak there, guys. So, yeah, really, really good look there on Newsmax, but just be careful and don't blow up your account or anything along those lines, all right? So the NMAX trade at the open was a winner for a day trade Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, I know, Surfer Boy 3000. Absolutely. You guys did the playmaker. Yeah, Stevenson. Oh, it's 103. Okay, yeah, no, we got those votes in. Well, thank you for reminding us, Stevenson. We will definitely dial that up right now because that's what we want to do. And I'm assuming that we're going long. What's the votes telling us? 51% to the short side here. Wow, Obi. That is, yeah, that's new. Yeah, just very, very much so. Okay, let's see what we got going on in a 5-minute Obi. I want to kind of get into some IBIT here, but I'm going to be a little bit more patient, and I think I'm going to post up because I'm going to use 4850. Yeah, post up. 4850 as my out, and we're trading at 38s right now. But I want to get a little bit better of a price, so maybe we'll post up at 40s. Yeah, that's what we're going to do, 48, 40s. See if we can catch a fill on that front there, guys. To the short side on IBIT. I mean, it can definitely squeeze, and if we crack through that high, then I'll just get out of the trade and wait to hop back in. If it starts working, okay, I love that. Up here, there. All right, there we go. So there we go. We're going to post up and see if we can catch a fill there on IBIT before we take an additional leg lower. What happened to him? We'll take a look at that later. Jaspreet, good to see you back in the chat. Haven't seen you for a while. Teamwork, yeah, exactly. There we go. So Bear versus Bulls always reminds me, and now you are on the reminder front as well, too. So let's pull up the sheets and see what we got going on for the Trader TV Playmaker poll here, guys. And we are going short today. As of now, I'm sure that the buyers would step in there, the long bias individuals, that is. But it looked like we're going short. Here's our data, guys, 747. Adara. All right, were you singing that song too? Or was that an attempt at singing that song? That's all right. All right, we're going to send it off to Adara, guys, and then we'll get into the Playmaker poll.
Tons of volatility coming in here on U.S. Steel. X on watch. I'm seeing some reports here circulating on X, apparently that Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick is fielding and processing some rival deals over U.S. Steel from both Nippon Steel, which of course initially had struck a deal with the company, and an unnamed, I guess, activist here trying to stake a claim as well. So again, X on watch here on some reports. I'm not seeing who reported this, but they're circulating here on X that we have Howard Lutnick apparently balancing multiple deals from both Nippon Steel and an unnamed activist. It's also worth noting here, this was previously reported earlier today that Lutnick was going to be meeting with Nippon Steel, so let's wait and see what happens here, but X on watch. Back to you.
Dara, yeah, so there we go, guys. 56.66. We're going short. Profit target is going to be 58.66. We'll get stopped out at 51.66, and we're going to go to the short side here, guys. So April 1st, nice. See, don't you like this stuff? I think this looks beautiful. How about you, Obi? I don't know about you. Yeah, you know what I mean. This is what we want to do. Collect, continue. Yeah, just continue.
Yeah, no, I'm saying very much so. It looks beautiful, collecting all those data points, giving you that confidence to continue taking that trade.
The screen here, guys.
Yeah, what is that chart looking? What is that chart looking like there on the Playmaker? Wow,
yeah,
would you look at that?
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
There. Good look here. So yeah, that's the Playmaker here and all these data points. And that's what I talked to you guys about, just collecting this. And then it's like, okay, what are you working on? And then you can display this. Like, hey, look at all these points that I have and all this data collection. Very simplistic stuff here, guys. So hopefully everyone's doing that, and that'll definitely lead to more success in day trading. But guys, I missed this fill here at 48.40s. I'm not going to chase it. As the market looks like it wants to slowly curl over. But I do like that we're running into some support levels. If we crack through this, then there might be a trade there, but I'll be a little bit more patient. If we come back into the range then and catch that fill, then I'll have a little bit more confidence and confluence in that trade. But it looks like we're putting in a potential head and shoulders on the 5-minute. Not the cleanest, but shoulder 1, head, shoulder 2 here on Amazon. So let's see if some of these big names start to pull back here, Obi, and hopefully we can catch this fill on IBIT to the short side, my friend.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of watching this as well. I did, like I said before, I did like the short. Earlier, we did make that lower high at that 58 halves. We're coming back into that 58 and holding a little bit higher. So again, some choppy action here, trading in between that 19.6 and that 19.5 as of right now. So that 19.6 did act as a little bit of resistance.
Oh wow!
There.
Oh, yo, Obi, sorry.
What's going on?
Sorry, Hims is breaking out. Adara, did you give us news on Hims yet? Okay,
No,
yeah.
Hims is
Okay,
here.
so
I can check what that
So
is.
there you go. Yeah, it's breaking out.
Adara will have it for us.
Really good price action. You can see that volume really start to kick in here, guys, as you break through some of these resistance zones. So a nice breakout there on HIMS there, Obi.
Yes, no, definitely some strong action there coming in both Hims and then I think X as well with that U.S. Steel kind of shake and bake, kind of selling off all of that action there on U.S. Steel as it comes back down into the downside. And yeah, Hims also catching a little bit of a pop on that push. 33.69 highs, 31.59s as of right now, trading at right now. So we're going to go to Adara for the breaking news. What's up?
Apparently, Hims on watch here. There are some reports. Again, this is circulating in X, so I'm not seeing who initially reported this, but apparently HIMS is going to be selling Eli Lilly Zepbound through its telehealth platform. So HIMS to sell some of these Zepbound drugs here from Eli Lilly through its telehealth platform. Back to you. It's the deal with HIMS.
Very much. So yeah, some bit of a sell deal there with HIMS. So interesting action there. We're pretty much giving most of it back right now. Like I said, 33.69s are the highs, and we're pulling all the way back down 31.26s as of right now, continuing to the downside. So reverting that action on Hims. As of right now. So intraday news, definitely a lot of intraday news that's been coming out, man, and some great opportunities off of said intraday news as well. Google looking like a little bit of a pullback here. Again, the market has been pulling back, so that makes a lot of sense. Amazon as well giving up that bid. Tesla, I'm seeing wipes of red on the Tesla tape, and as well as my TQs here as we pull back into that 58 level here on the TQ. So that short still coming in pretty nice. Again, VWAP 57 halves, not quite there just yet. Still holding a little bit on that 58. We've held once, a little bit twice, and let's see if we can do it 3 times now. This action's starting to look a little bit, definitely a little bit confusing. Yeah, maybe I like that. I like that little bit of fugaze. When things get confusing, I think that there's more opportunity for the offside of short-term participants being offside there as well. So what else am I watching? I'm watching chips here. I've got NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, SMCI, SMH, TSM, Micron, and ARM all on watch here. All relatively looking similar, except for Intel. We kind of talked about that. That is relatively weak when you compare it to the other tickers here. Again, bigger picture. This thing has been catching a little bit of a sell after getting that pop into that 27 mark just a couple weeks ago. See 22.62's high a day right here, trading below that VWAP. Holding lower lows and lower highs, looking distinctly different than something like an NVIDIA, which you can see bid back all the way back up to its highs, and something as well as AMD, maybe a little bit closer to that Intel in terms of what they do. You can see sideways chop here on AMD. TSM, another one right there, looking more closer in line with that of NVIDIA's price action there, and ARM kind of doing its own thing, pretty much shake and bake, strong selling off the open, reverts all the way back up to the highs, reverts back down to VWAP here, so it keeps on giving us that VWAP multiple times over and over again here on ARM. TQ is coming back into the upside. Let's see if we can break back above this 19.6 mark. If we can break back above 19.6, then are we poised for a little bit of a high of daybreak, just shy of that 19.650? I have no idea. Yesterday, we bid up pretty aggressively. What was it? Microsoft and Apple had crazy imbalances, if you guys were here with us at the close. And guess what had strong bids off of the open, right off of the open? Microsoft and Apple. Straight off of the open, that bid came right in, and I was like, oh boy, why didn't I even think about that? Looking for that continuation on the two names that had the biggest buy imbalances and gave us that move. Sure, Apple got slammed into, things sold off afterwards, but that buy imbalance was still there, and we closed near higher days. And if we're breaking prior day highs off of the open, is the long still there? That's the question I should be asking, and that trade was definitely on the table off the open, but those stickers still holding relatively well, still trading above their opening price, both on Apple and Softy as of right now. So pretty strong on the day. As wow, these TQs are really pulling back, eh? Making lower highs. All right. Probably gonna get stopped out of this one. What do you got going on?
No, well, I had this IBIT going on here, Obi, but I didn't take very much off. Wasn't overly heavy either. I should have took a little bit more here at 48.20. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, but that's okay. Again, we're just waiting. You can see that we're consistently forming these lower highs. So we'll wait for that to be breached, maybe possibly on low volume, and then we can get right back into this trade to the short side. I mean, we are overly extended, so that's what we're going to look for, that revert back to the mean, as Obi would like to say. Oh man, it was me. I could have changed it. No one tell me my vote. Okay, so there you go. Yeah, it was really close, the voting there, Jag, on the Playmaker poll today. The shorts came in and won that one, but it was neck and neck for a really long time. So good look there, Black Up Muha, the dark side one. Someone Big Smile is smiling. Yeah, exactly. Big Smile himself would be really, really excited there, Black Hawk IP. So good look there. So this is our trade on IBIT today. We got stopped out, break even up here, but then we got chopped up earlier in the morning, and Obi was we were talking about it throughout the session here on how just performing on a lower accuracy, but still like coming out near green or anything like that. I'm just slightly red on the day, but one solid trade can get us right at the back. But again, you can see I started 0 for 4, and then just one trade brought me right back to that break even. So there you go on NVDA. That was a looking on the short, and I'm like, what am I doing shorting this name here? Especially what I had on a specific setup, and I'm extended from VWAP. So I was just glad to get right back out of that trade. But then we have just trades like this that just keep us in the game, and that's kind of the name of it, I guess, there, guys. So nice, really nice trade here on TSLA, and I was looking to add right here, and kind of frustrated at myself that I didn't, but that's okay. Live and learn, and just continuously look to improve. But really nice trade here on TSLA, and we'll most definitely document that one. And I like how you were referring to edge erosion, Obi, and just with the current market sentiment, I've had to kind of alter things and just adjust, right? Like what I was using before wasn't working, and I built consistency through it. And it can get frustrating because you work on your system for years at a time, and then it's like, okay, then you have these spans where it doesn't work, but then you just have to be able to adjust on that front, and I think that's really important in this game, right? So yeah, for sure. We'll continue to do that. The next the next poll is up here, guys, so make sure you get those votes in. I'm going to tap into Meta. I like Meta here for a potential winner. I think it's going to be one of the more popular ones. And X as an X Steel, American Steel. All right, we can throw that one up there. Not the hottest, I guess, but to each their own. So yeah, going to be patient here, OB on IBIT. Wait for that lower high to construct, and then if we can't crack 48.50, then I'll look to take another long there.
No, that's a
short, sorry.
That's a great look there. And market kind of just still doing the same thing here, kind of chopping around sideways. Yeah, no, I think that it's always good to kind of keep eyes on multiple places in the market. As well, you can see that being on a floor like this, you can see that we almost always have eyes on at least one thing or the other. I know Joe's looking at IBIT a decent amount, so we always have eyes on that on Bitcoin. And if anything happens there, we definitely Joe will definitely let us know if something's happening there. If there's something's happening here on like a TQs or a Tesla or something like that, we know that again. The big kahunas are almost always involved in the larger caps there as well. But yeah, no, let me know what you guys are trading on the day today. The selling kind of coming back in right here. 58's held, but really kind of just consolidating on top of that right now. Nothing too crazy. Sideways action going into tomorrow. Again, a lot of anticipation for potential tariff news tomorrow, and we've been only selling into this event, if you want to call it that, over the past few weeks. And yeah, a lot of anticipation. So the question becomes, I'm asking, we're definitely going to potentially look for a decent amount of volatility tomorrow. And I'm starting to come up with plans on what I want to see to go long, what I want to see to get short. But yeah, throw it up in the chat. Are you guys making those kind of plans for tomorrow? Or are you guys hard strung on one way or the other, being like, it has to be a long, it has to be a short? I would love to know in the chat. Throw your opinions up, and I can take a quick look at those, and we can talk about that as well. We kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, trying to be nimble and trying to keep an open mind on tomorrow's price action, tomorrow's catalyst as well. Again, just like any catalyst, we're going to see if it actually has an effect on the market, and if there's continuation of the volume that comes in through catalyst, if there's continuation of that price action for the rest of the day, and maybe even bigger picture for the rest of the week, for the rest of the month, for the rest of the quarter. Who knows what kind of catalyst tomorrow is, and what kind of price action it can bring into these markets. But yeah, definitely catching a little bit of a bid on the week. We saw that yesterday, strong bid. Today as well, very strong bid. Giving up a little bit of a piece today as of right now. Oh boy, here we come right back into these lows. 58's testing, Joe. So shorts are definitely working here. I see that you got out of your the IBIT.
Yeah, I'm looking to get back in. I got stopped out at the break even here, and I'm looking to get back in. I'll pull up the 5-minute time frame. I still believe there's some good time. I have some time before we break through some of the support level. But what I'm trying to get is another fill at the top of this range, but I'm just not getting it right now. So going to be a little bit more patient. That's the thing, right? I don't want to sell into the support, so maybe if I can get the middle of the range, then that would look a little bit better. But here we go, Obi.
Yes.
Ready. Shout out to Joseph, Obi, Adara, Sean, Neil. Can't forget Bears vs. Bulls. Thank you guys for a great show. I get better each day. Great input, great advice. Sean, thanks again. Trader TV. Thank you, Stevenson. You know you're our guy in the chat there, so no worry about that. Oh, at Mr. C. Mr. C, are you still in here? Mr. C, I always notice that you put in the chat, you always give us a super chat. Sorry, and you gave us multiple super chats here today. So $4. Unfortunately, you're not in the chat, so I can't tag you or anything like this, but I'll be sure to remind you next time I see you. But yeah, you always ask us to take a look at SPY and respectfully via super chats, so we will do so. I'm going to get involved in the short here, Obi. If we crack through 48.50s, then I'll just get out. A little bit wider risk than what I would like. Actually, no, I'm going to be patient. I'm just going to be like I am, be a little bit patient. But thank you again, Mr. C. We'll take a look at the SPY. As you can see that we have constructed a lower high here from an intraday standpoint. And now just hovering around the volume-weighted average price. Strong opening drop. Well, I mean, strong first hour of the session. You can see this was choppy. We sell off, break through some pre-market lows, and then the ETF just turns around and essentially doesn't look back here. I'm putting in a new high at 562, 563-ish. We'll call it flat. And what we'll do is we'll pull up the options chain for you to see where there might have been some overhead resistance, because that's extremely important. We're going to look at the OI on that front to see if it's come into play here. So 563, we see it here. What does the options chain tell us? 7,000 open contracts there, nothing outstandish, but we had 11,000 at 562. That's nothing overly crazy, but there it is, the take on SPY. We're going to see what we got going on from a daily standpoint as well, too. We put in a new low yesterday, and then nice recovery as we gapped down at the open on Monday, down 10%, but now recovering a little bit, only down about 8.7%, guys, on the SPY. Mr. C, hopefully you're in the chat, but Adara, let's see what she's up to.
In sports play, flexibility is everything. At ProfitX, you can see the order book just like a financial exchange. All you have to do is pick your spot and customize the odds to fit your risk. So why settle for a single offered price when you can set your own? Plus, our mobile interface makes it easy to play on the go. ProfitX, where you call the shots anytime, anywhere. Users can use code TraderTV to get our sign-up offer of 2% cash back up to $300. Back to you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Some ProfitX, definitely worth a bit of a try there. And this profit might get X'd if we continue to push a little bit lower here. to the downside. But yeah,
You're still long there?
still a little long there. I stopped out, I think, once, maybe? No,
Yeah, but you've already had solid trades.
I've had a couple of trades on it, just looking for, again, trying to go with the ebbs and flows of this action there. But like I said, I'm probably going to get stopped out on this one before it actually comes in, if it even comes in, right? So we talk about that holding above that VWAP as of right now. We're making technically some higher lows above that VWAP. So just looking to see if buyers potentially step in on this here market. But we seem to be consolidating just sideways, right? We talk about that hold between 19.6 and 19.5. So we're just kind of no man's land, kind of just chopping sideways, nothing too crazy here. Just keeping an eye on, and yeah, just gotta stay on our feet, because again, the kind of day like this, going into tomorrow as well, we've been seeing a lot of breaking news happening. And speaking of which, let's see what Adair has to say.
Following the excitement around CoreWeave and NMAX, we have a new IPO with a very interesting ticker. It's WTF. Watton Financial here. This one opened a while ago, trading at $4.29, so a little bit above this pricing of $4 per share. This is a pretty small IPO, valued about $17.5 million, about 4.735 million shares on offer. Currently halted here. This is not its first halt either. It looks like at least its second halt. So WTF, yes, that is the ticker on watch here. Another new IPO to join the likes of NMAX and CRWV. Back to the guys.
I gotta pull that one up right now. What did you
Yeah.
say that ticker was?
Yeah,
Oh boy. Okay,
yeah, with the-
Watton Financial Limited, WTF, and this price action, WTF, is running to the upside here. $5 breakout. Wow, these IPOs, man, are going crazy as of late. Again, what was yesterday's again? NMAX. NMAX is still going, right? NMAX is still going here, and yeah, some more action here. I wonder what the float on this one is. Didn't really check the S1 on this one. Again, we had eyes on CoreWeave because that was one of the bigger ones of the year, or in a while. And CoreWeave, again, looking pretty. Let's see what it's been doing. CoreWeave as of right now, trading 44.68. Oh boy, so we went to 46s. So nice. We did trade above that day one price. Today is day 3 on the ticker. Look at that breakout of day 1 highs there. That was definitely a bit of a trade, as it gave you almost a point over point. Wow, 42s and change. What was the high again? I think it was 42. Yeah, 41.94. And look at that breakout of 42. Takes you straight to 46 halves on that push back up on CoreWeave. Seems like this thing is trending to the upside, man. So this thing might be, I don't want to look back months from now and be like, oh, CoreWeave, that IPO would have been nice. But so far it's showing us a little bit of a bid on day 3. Let's see if some of these prices hold. That 42, again, that opening range, right? Day 1 range was that 42 high, and the low was 37.5. So 41.94 was the day 1 high, 37.46 was the day 1 low. We attempted to break below that yesterday, but a bit of a held bid. Look at that. Wow, that's beautiful. I definitely didn't have eyes on this. Bit of a held bid here, 36s, 36 halves. So we talked about some of the underwriters on this IPO. Everybody wanted a piece of this one, and they weaved themselves into that deal. And if you go look at the S1, you got all the banks. You got all the banks. You got Goldman Sachs. You got JP Morgan. You got Mizuho. You got Guggenheim. You got Deutsche Bank. You got what else? Am I missing one? If I am, it's on that list. But yeah, if you go take a look at their S1, everybody wanted a piece of it. And decent move now as we continue to bid up off of that IPO. So maybe some good action there poised. I'm curious to know where we end up. By the end of 2025, where is CoreWeave going to be? No idea, but it's looking good so far with only 3 days worth of information.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? I like what Michael Noss said a while ago. I think it was a week or two ago. It's like plus or minus a couple percent, right? And I think that's kind of where we're headed, the direction we're headed in. And we got to be really patient here for tariffs. But yeah, here we go, guys. I'm still in this I bit. I'm selling the bottom of this range, right? And I don't want to sell into support, so I'll be patient. If it breaks through, then that's okay. I'll just get out and then look for another entry here where I'm at the top of the range and not necessarily at the lows here. So you can see that we haven't broke through. That volume by time profile really starting to fall off a cliff. But yeah, I know Pathic. It's actually okay. So hopefully you can hit the like button now. I just refreshed everything, but here we go. You have the option to like and subscribe. This trade has unlimited upside. Yeah, just go out there and make sure you hit that like and subscribe there, guys. Does a lot for the channel. So yeah, not too good of a look here on IBIT. Still constructing lower highs, so that's a positive note. But if we squeeze through, then I'll just get out of the trade and look to get right back in it. Oh man, I was hoping you would say the opposite. I'm going to take your view and tie my hands behind my back. So difficult for me to do this, even though I think it's not worth the risk. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, so Obi, so
Yes.
This is what Jag asked me in the chat. So if you, say you have a daily goal and you're 1% away from that daily goal, so whether it be $100, you have $99 realized, just to keep the math simple. Are you going to continue trading for that $1, or are you going to call it at $99?
It really depends on the trade, right? If there are more trades on the table, then yeah, it doesn't really matter. If you have a daily goal of the $100, then yeah, if you hit your daily goal, maybe you want to slow down, maybe you want to be like, I'm only taking A pluses going forward. But at the end of the day, I think it just depends on what your style is. At the end of the day, I think that your daily goal should be a result of your trading. And if you still have more trades on the table, then yeah, some days you hit your daily goal, some days you don't. But the bell hasn't rung, the trades are still on the table. And if they are up to your liking, and I think that's why you got to have a rule. Say you get to that daily goal, and you can be like, after that, I'm not taking any more C trades on the day. I'm only taking B pluses and above, something like that. If you do something like that, I think I like that a little bit better.
Just to add to that point too, there, Obi, or to the fact that okay, yeah, your goal is $100. And it's like, okay, I want to continuously trade. I know Katina Man will agree with that. It's like, if you're hot, just keep shooting, right? That's what shooters do. They shoot. And if you're hot, then do this, right? So it's like, okay, yeah, you hit your daily goal, but then it's like, okay, I don't want to give it all away, so I'm going to kind of refine what my risk measures are. I have $100. I'm willing to give 20% of that up, so that'll give me an $80 day or whatever it may be, right? So you can do that along those lines as well. I know a lot of traders do that. They just risk, okay, we have a defined amount, and then that way, of course, there's going to be those times where you blow past it, but just try to avoid that as much as possible, and I think you'll be doing just fine. So yeah, all right. So hopefully that helped you out there, Jag. A curveball thrown by Obi. Now I gotta untie my hands. So there you go. It's up to you, right? Just have a defined amount of risk. Like, don't go in there and give away your whole day if you're 1% away from your goal. I think that's not something ideally smart to do, right? So you lost your whole day for a little 1%? No, just set that up. Be like, okay, I'm willing to risk another 10, 15, 20%. And if I don't get to that goal that I'm looking for, and exceed it, then I'll just call it a day. I'm profitable on the session, and then I can come back tomorrow and look to trade once again. But yeah, I'm gonna hop out right here, guys, real quick, because I do believe I can find a better entry, and then that will just increase my risk to reward. Some seasoned traders don't believe in goals. The biggest con to having a daily goal is that you can force trades to hit your goal, especially if you are near. Exactly, and that's what kind of what we're referring to, and that's what Obi said it very well as well. He said just have your daily goal from like an execution standpoint, from a rule standpoint, right? Like, I forget how the saying goes, and I'm not going to try to trip over it, but you'll see those profits start to be a result of, it's a lagging indicator, as we like to say here, Obi. It's a lagging indicator from what you can potentially do. So if you're putting on good trades, the money will follow. So don't necessarily look for a dollar amount. Just look to put on good trades, and the money will follow in that aspect.
Yeah, for sure. I think I definitely respect that, man. Like that's what you got to do. At the end of the day, the main focus has to be the trade at hand, and if that trade is potentially working, I have too many orders out to sell. I'll just take out that one there. It's got to be a byproduct, right? At the end of the day, your results have to be a byproduct. If you're trying to force results, I think the perspective can definitely be a little skewed. But again, you still have to have the goals and P&L in mind. Thank you for that, Phil. Wow, would you look at that, Sean? Would you look at that? Still that 58. I mean, I tried again. I stopped out. I stopped out, and then he's saying, "Are you stealing my shares?" Yeah. No, I'm looking at TQs here. I'm like, yeah, I like the action here on the day. I can definitely work a little bit with this chop that we've been having. Yeah, no, got to stay nimble. Again, but yeah, going back to it, the results should definitely be a byproduct of your decision making, right? There's a quote on the backboard there, on the whiteboard, that's been said a few times here on the floor. P&L is a lagging indicator of good process, right? So you want the P&L? Sure. The pathway to that is not P&L focus. The pathway to that is decision and trade focus. And if you build that, then P&L, of course, will follow alongside if you have the edge and if you have good risk management alongside that. So that's my spiel on that. Quick scalps here on TQs here. I got pretty aggressive on the pushback through 58. And then now I'm in less than 1% or less than 10%. I'm so bad at quick math. Yeah, just keeping eyes on this one here as it potentially works and holds in and around that 58 mark. You know what? I'm going to take off even more. I don't really want this trade because, like I said before, I wanted the short. I wanted the short off of 58 halves. Came in, I was long. I got out of my long because I was like, this is a strong reason to get out. And then I started to get in more, kind of countering that idea, even though I said I like the short. The short is definitely on. And then I kind of start to get long, feeling it out. But as of right now, I'm like, yeah, no, the short is definitely something to watch out for. And I took off. I guess now I'm down to 1% of what I had on that push off of 58. Just taking those quick scalps, 10, 20 pennies right off the bat. And if it doesn't go right away, then that's okay. That's perfectly fine. And if we leave stuff on the table, that's fine as well. Well, again, it's all a process of refining, trying to get my entries a little bit better than my exits as of right now. And the exits can and do need a lot of work. They can get a lot of work, but okay, so some size on the vid, getting taken out. Is my stop in for this one? Okay, no, I think my stop got hit last time. I did not have a stop in for this one. Manually punching, but again, having only 1% left, little unnecessary, but yeah, gonna keep an eye on this one. This is gonna trade. This is looking like it's gonna trade lower. 57.36 is on the TQs, is VWAP, and we're taking a nice little pullback. Oh boy, here we go. All right, so you know what? I'm out of that one. Don't really need to risk more than that, even though it's 1% of what I had. Made the money on most of it, took the trade. Where is the next trade? Looking for the next scalp, and don't really see it just yet. I think somebody in the chat was talking about Amazon long, and I looked at Amazon and I was like, I didn't want to say it at the end because I don't want to affect people's opinions and biases towards their own trades, but I was looking at Amazon and I was like, this is looking like playbook short for me. I didn't get involved, but I did get involved with some other tickers as well. But Amazon, we were looking at this right here. I was like, oh boy, taking a little bit of a slowdown, breaks down. You can see the market's doing the same thing, right? So I'm like, all right, remember I was looking at the market when I first came on, I was like, I'm looking at the market. We've been bidding up aggressively. I'm looking for that buying to dissipate, to take a little bit of a reversion. It happened to work out, and it's coming in pretty nicely. All right, so A. Wheeler with the super chat. Obi, I've been trading profitably for 7 years. Congratulations. But my strategy is way different than the scalping you guys do. Lots of talent you all have, but currently, what is your conviction on long TQs? Okay, so that came in a little bit earlier, but again, the conviction was we're holding that 57, and on the shorter time frame, I think that we still are poised for a little bit more chop before we get down to VWAP, because bigger picture, I liked the short. I liked the trade into the 57.5, but in this moment here, if I'm shorting, I technically have to risk all the way up to here, but the risk for the long is much nicer for a quick scalp for a lower high. I'm looking like I'm countering, you get what I'm saying? I'm countering the trade that I think is the bigger picture, because at the current price where the chart is at, the EV for the long might be higher for a quick tape scalp, and that's why I'm just taking those off. That's all it is. Again, I don't normally trade TQs, man. You've been trading TQs profitably for 7 years. That's amazing. I don't normally trade TQs like that, but what I do trade normally is the price action, and I get myself into trouble when I don't follow rules, and things are okay, relatively okay, when I am following them, and that's a work in progress. But that's kind of my thing there. But thank you for that. 58 hold, right? We again, why do I like that 58? Why am I being wary of that 58? Right here, you can see pullback here, you don't really know that it's a level in here. This is a 1 minute chart, but you can see second pullback comes in 58 hold. This pullback 58 hold. We attempt to break 58 reclaim hold, pulls back in, consolidating now on 58. So there's definitely some liquidity there, and we're catching a bit of a chop and churn. So can I take some pieces off? Sure. While the market kind of decides itself what it wants to do with 58. But let's see what Joe has to say.
All right, guys, new traders, listen up. First month, free. That's right, we're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite, analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform, it's everything, infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with backtesting, reliable real-time data, global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform. Don't miss out. Execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or check the link in the description. There it is, folks. E-Signal, you know who's using it. Katina Man, Neil, Sharif. A lot of people using E-Signal there, guys. So really good luck there on E-Signal. Scan that QR code and go check it out for yourselves. But here we go, Obi.
Yes, sir.
Just going back to multiple attempts on names, I'm going to add a little bit to this position because it looks like we have constructed a lower high here on the 5-minute time frame. As the market wants to, but that's the thing, right? The market's holding VWAP and IBIT is lagging. We haven't traded all the way down to the volume weighted average price. So that may signal some strength. I took a couple stabs at it here earlier in the day, and then that short ended up working out. We tried the short once again here, and then it didn't work. But then we're just going to hop right back in. If we crack through 48.50, then I'll just get out of the trade, and that's enough attempts for me on IBIT. I'm not in sync with the stock, and it's not working for me, so that's okay. We'll just find things that are, and continuously are trading stronger, and I believe that's going to be Tesla because that was one of our better trades here on the session, and now coming back towards that high day. Not quite there yet, but the TSLL up 11.7% here on the session, Obi. So
oh boy,
that is, yeah, oh boy is right, my friend. So yeah, we'll be a little patient. I do believe I'm gonna get stopped out on the IBIT trade, but that's okay. We'll always find something else and find what the next trade is. I don't want to give back too much here because it has been my worst trading stock of the day, and that's okay. So what do we do, Obi? We just go back to things that are strong, and I think that's Tesla and some of these other big tech names, all right? So here it is on TSLL. Again, that was our last out, but we just caught this whole trend from about 10:17 in the morning, and then our last out was around 11:52. So really nice trade there on TSLL. Really nice to hold some for the dream all the way up there. It will be a hit that 1090, but that's okay. And again, just to add, to get better, I need to add to this position. I need to make it significantly bigger instead of just piecing out all the way up. We need to make that trade at least triple the size of what, quadruple even, 100 times the size of what it currently was. So, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, IBIT probably going to get stopped out here shortly.
It's a good look there. Look at that 58. We were talking about this. I think who was it that asked the question? A Wheeler. Yeah, so that 58, look at how that 58 keeps giving you 10, 15, 20 pennies over and over again. So that's a great thing about a level hold, which is definitely part of my playbook, which is like if I'm seeing a level holding and I can scalp off of that level, and potentially that level hold could domino into a level to level move. If the level hold is significant enough, it can just hold and then continue on to the next level. And maybe we're poised for a little bit of that 58.50 here. But again, that hold off of 58 is giving you 20 pennies each time. I kind of, I didn't re-engage there. My stop never got hit on that pullback, and now we're 30 pennies above that 58. So once again, leaving some on the table here. But again, the trades are working. I'm glad I'm making good decisions on the day and taking some trades that are somewhat fruitful. And sure, what I realize is when you're taking those kind of trades where, yeah, these trades work, you're never going to catch the highs and lows. You're never going to catch the whole move. So it's almost expected that it continues to go without you. Right? So it's like not getting tilted on that is something that I'm working on, because I'll get into a trade. I'll be like, oh, damn, that went a whole point. I was short 59s. It went to 58s. And I was in the most size I've been in all day, putting on the most, not the most risk, putting on the most size, but pretty much appropriate risk at that point. But goes a whole dollar. I'm like, I missed out on that whole move. And then I'm like, all right, well, I don't want to let that affect my mental. Instead of chasing further into the move, I want to look for that flip for a level hold to see if that comes in. We know that VWAP can be potentially strong because that bid in the morning session lasted for over 2 hours. And then the reversion off of that long bid, I like that. I think that's a decent probability. But again, bigger picture, buyers are in charge, not only today, but they were yesterday. So technically buyers are in charge as of this week. So keeping that in mind and respecting that, that's obviously going to influence a lot of my decision making on the day. 58.24, so just trading in and around that quarter level mark here on the TQs as of right now. That Amazon reversion was absolutely beautiful, coming right back in, not quite at VWAP just yet, but nice little pullback as well. And shout out to Adara. She told me as she walked by that she was short J&J. And again, this was part of my morning plan. I was looking for that continuation. Let me pull up my morning plan once again, and we can take a look at this. Look at that. Solid trade there, Adara. So good one on that one. Continuation, look at that. Tariff rumors, sure, whatever. I got the news wrong, but gap down continuation. Price action at the end of the day is king. It does not matter, in my opinion. Catalyst fundamentals are great for Confluence, but at the end of the day, the chart and the price action and the volume speak a lot more to me than anything else. But J&J, gap down, looking for sellers, look for sellers to hold VWAP. Again, simple rule. Again, I'm not gonna show my execution set and everything here, but again, the idea is simple. The idea is sellers on board off of a catalyst, gap down, selling off aggressively, look for sellers to maintain charge during the day. Does that happen? Off the opening drive, we flush in. Off the opening session, VWAP sellers are dominant. You don't have to get involved there. Pre-market high lick grab, beautiful. Pre-market low breakdown, beautiful. Right? A lot of strong reasons to sell. It finally catches a bid. Great reason to take a reversion for VWAP, but take a look at that. Sellers still in charge, coming in with the market turning as well. So great trade on that one. Let us know what you got, Adara.
Just keep an eye here on Meta dropping a little bit here. Any social media takers really on watch. Financial Times reporting that Andreessen Horowitz, which is a Silicon Valley-based venture capital firm, apparently they are in talks to help buy out the Chinese owners of TikTok. That would be ByteDance. So keep an eye here on META and SNAP. Basically, we know these social media names can move on TikTok related stories. And we do have Financial Times reporting that Andreessen Horowitz is in talks to help buy out Binance or TikTok's Chinese owners here. Back to you.
Thank you very much there, Adara, for the news. The market's slamming back into the bid there. So 58's back on board here as of right now. But yeah, that was a nice little pop. I'm like, oh my God, 58.34s. That's the thing that I'm just like, okay, well, I got to maintain the mental, maintain the emotions. Sean, shout out to Sean earlier. He walked by. He's like, I'm getting too emotional. I'm like, yeah, I know, getting a little too emotional there sometimes. And again, at the end of the day, some of the best trading, man, is so boring. It's like you're doing what you want, you're doing what you have to do, you're doing what you got to do, and things are happening, things are working. You can get excited, but again, some of the best trades are probably the most boring ones as well, not really extremely exciting. But we try to make some of the price action pretty exciting for you guys here, being the entertainers that we try to be here at the end of the day. The price action, again, being very beautiful. And as it dances around, sometimes I can't help but get a little bit emotional, but something I am working on as well. 58 still continuing to hold as of right now on the TQ. So that 19.5, oh boy, a little bit of a sandwich. 19 sixes and 19 halves. So yeah. Did I ever tell you my? Oh, you weren't there at midnight. My favorite dance move at the club.
What is it?
It's the bid stack or the bid drop. So it's like the bid just stacks. Boom.
Crazy.
So one of them, it's like Arca, Memex, Nymex. You know, whatever. Bats.
Edge A.
Edge A. Edge X.
Hit the Edge A. That's crazy.
Hit that Edge A.
That's crazy.
You know, we should call it a move. You know how they say like hit the quan. We should hit the Edge A.
Quan. This guy said
hit the Edge A.
Hit the Edge A, man.
Hey, let's make that viral.
Hit the stop out.
Yeah, hit this. Boom.
Stop out.
Sometimes you get stopped out.
Yeah, you just pure stop.
You can switch it up too. You know, you're dancing, you got that, and then you give it a lick grab. You know.
Give it a lick grab. Yeah, like I'm about to get licked catch grabs right here in IBIT as it wants to squeeze, man. Just trying to short this. Yeah, exactly. Kanye East. I tried to stop him out there, man. I tried to get someone get your boy. They said, yeah,
Whose mans are these?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, whose mans is this?
Whose
You know
mans
what I
are
mean? It's
these?
like, yeah, I'm not with him. You know what I mean? I have no idea who this guy is. To be honest, he just followed me here. So, yeah. Here we go. I added pretty aggressively here to IBIT, guys. And it looks like I'm going to get stuffed out. This is the last attempt on this name. I told you that. So we were looking for that breakdown, but we're not getting it. The climber says, Danker, yeah. Okay, Mean Green. We're going to take that. We're going to eat. We're not going to repeat what you just said there, but yeah, here we go, guys. See, this IBIT is so strong. Pizza Rat, good look there, my friend. I know you're trading that relatively well. Am I frozen here on YouTube? Oh, there we go. It's all gone now. So I got to refresh some of this. Yeah. Am I a Pizza Rat? No, No. All right, what is it? Come on, man.
What is that?
What is it?
Okay,
so
all
they're
right.
going to show us what Pizza
stonks.
Rat is here in a brief second. So, yeah, I have no idea.
Day trader cut. I like that.
What do you say? What day trader cut? say?
He said no covering the ask in the club.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm grabbing all that liquidity.
Yeah, he's looking for the asks in the club. Yeah, I get that one.
I will grab that. I mean, you know, you already know. You already know the. Did we ever show that Towers video? Where we're at, yeah.
No, I don't think we ever. I don't think we ever.
You had the
showed
You have the perfect Snapchat. Oh, Fabian saying it sounds horrible. Maybe we can get some AI in there to kind of tweak that, clean that sound up. But
I don't know if we're,
at the end of the day, it's late in the night. It's like what, almost 2 a.m.
Oh yeah.
I was about to close.
I don't know if we wanted.
We got like towers, and then I think we were like grab another tower, and people were like no. And I was like, I will provide the liquidity, and that moment got captured. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Like 10 seconds of that moment got captured.
I was just making a video of the towers.
I just happened to say
in the back. It's like I will provide the liquidity, and it's like okay, buddy, we're like a couple towers deep. You know what I mean? Fine. It's a good night on the town in Toronto, and I guess that's a good thing in the office and during the summertime here, guys. We like to have a little bit of fun too. We work hard, work harder, play a little bit too, but yeah, most definitely
work hard, play harder.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I used to play a little bit harder back in my youthful days.
Back in my youthful days.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
bro, what do you mean? You're a young guy. It's not over.
I wish, man.
Not over.
But yeah, no, good times here.
You don't reach the peak at least till 40.
Oh yeah, peak life is easy. 55.
Well, say 55, 60.
65, yeah.
If you keep a really good, if you keep your head really good. Oh, what is that?
Oh, is that Pizza Rat? Yeah, I've seen this video. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Shout out to New York. Yeah. I know some of those. I know some of those rats.
Disgusting. It's one of my biggest fears, to be honest with you.
No, definitely. You can see them carrying around that. It's a New York rat. What do you mean? What would you?
Rats are one of my biggest fears. Yeah, that is crazy.
Ramin? What? No, nobody's calling you a rat.
No one's ever said that you're a rat. I said.
Have you seen lab rats or lab mice?
Fear.
Have you seen lab rats or lab mice? They're so cute. Like lab mice. Have you ever worked with lab mice?
No, I've never worked.
They're clean. They're super clean. Right? Because they're.
I dissected a pig.
We did that. I dissected a cat. I did not like that.
I didn't hear what you said.
That was not fun.
In high school, one of them was
Ramin,
pregnant.
Ramin, I can't hear you.
We can't hear you. You're talking.
They can't.
They
can
can hear
in
her.
high school, one of the lab rats that we cut open, one of them was pregnant, and then me and my friends hid the little babies in all the lockers, and it was a big problem.
What?
That is some.
You hid the babies.
That is some serial. I don't know. Oh my
That's
God.
crazy. Okay.
I don't even know what.
Okay.
That's some.
Just told us in our ears that in high school when they were.
You don't want to get on her bad side.
A rat. They found that the rat was pregnant, and then they put the babies in a locker.
They hid. No, not only that. They hid the babies in multiple lockers.
Who am I?
That's crazy.
With here? Who am I working with here?
What?
That is
we gotta watch our backs. We gotta watch our backs. I want 2 cameras at my desk and one on the entrance. We already have one on the entrance.
I'm never eating a chocolate bar from you again.
I'm
not. That's it. It's done. I'm not.
Those chocolate bars taste pretty damn good too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, whoa.
What's in them?
Oh
my God.
What is in there?
Oh boy. All right. So Ramin.
Wow.
That's an interesting development.
Science experiment.
Science experiment.
No, that is not.
Yeah, no,
That's
I'm like, I don't even know.
surpassed
I don't even know what to say. Like,
of that, yeah.
there's going to be a movie made on,
Yeah, we're making
I
a
wouldn't be
movie of it.
surprised
Yeah.
in the future if there was a movie made on Hermine.
Were the babies alive though?
No, dude, they're not.
All right.
Doesn't matter if it's dead or alive.
Yeah.
My God.
April Fools. There we go. Yeah.
April Fools! Oh boy, I
There we
don't
go.
think we're
Oh,
joking
boy.
around. But
Boy, there.
oh boy.
This is type of.
Let's just say, I just got to erase this from my memory. Let's just say April Fools, haha, funny.
Yeah.
Not so funny is this price action right now, just chopping around to the side, to not to the upside or to the downside, but chopping around sideways. So that 58 seems like it's the gift that keeps on giving on the NASDAQ, on the TQs here, as boom, once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times so far, just giving you that range, giving you that ability to risk 5 to 10 pennies and then make 10 to 20 pennies, but decently high probability 1-to-1s here happening on TQs on that level hold of that 58. Let's see how much longer it's going to hold. We're technically making lower highs on both these futures here, on the ES and the NASDAQ. Look at these wicks on the 15-minute candles on this chart. Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. About 6.5 minutes left on this 15-minute chart to go. So gonna be a little patient for that one as we do make lower highs into that 58 level. Maybe we are poised to break down a little bit further now. Some size showing up there on the bid as well. So let me pull that up and show you guys. 58 holes, there's 1,000 lots there on the TQs. For the TQs, maybe not a lot of size, but distinctly different and distinctly more size than we've been seeing so far. So a bit of a step up on the bid there, exactly at 58. So let's see what the price does after that size is now showing itself. Do we take it out? Is it all fugazi? Is it the spoofy man? I have no idea. But that 58 has shown up with some size. Let's see if 19 halves holds on the NASDAQ to give us that continuation. Or does that size get taken out and our sellers still in charge, taking that 58 liquidity out? Nom, 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 nom. Sometimes that's what happens. That's what goes on in my mind when I see the bid decrementing.
You're just eating already.
Wow, would you look at that?
Would you look at this?
So 500 by tomorrow?
Yeah, like it's looking like it right now. So
yeah, stair-step squeeze.
Got that's a
Got an HKD on our hands, boys.
Yeah. So there you go. There we go. This is insane. What's HKD?
What's HKD, bro?
Yeah.
Bro, you want to study squeezes?
Oh, HKD. Okay.
HKD? HKD is one of the names to look up if you want to study like squeeze type price action, multi-day builds up, short
HKD,
traps.
like the ticker itself.
The ticker HKD.
Oh, okay,
You remember that one? That went up to like
2.5.
2.5, I think 1 point something.
That's crazy.
In the after hours pre-market session. Beautiful squeeze. And what was that other one? There was I did a presentation on that back in the day. So GME, obviously an epic squeeze of our times. There was another one with a funny name. It was a restaurant chain. Piggly Wiggly, thank you, Adara, coming in with that eidetic memory. So an older chart, if you want to look at an epic squeeze, look at the chart of Piggly Wiggly.
All right.
I tried to find a chart.
It says giggity.
Yeah. So Piggly Wiggly, again, if you want to study the most epic squeezes of all time, HKD is definitely on that. What was the other one? Dries. If you guys know about that ticker, Dries is on that list for epic squeezes. HKD we talked about, and Piggly Wiggly as
like
well.
Volkswagen
GME as well.
too.
Which one? Volkswagen. Oh yeah, Volkswagen. I think had an epic squeeze as well. So studying that price action, that historical price action, definitely. I don't know if Neil remembers Piggly Wiggly. That was probably before your time. But let me check. Let me check when Piggly Wiggly traded. When did Piggly Wiggly trade? Okay, let's see. Let's go. 1922 on the NYSE is when began trading. February 1992 on the New York Stock Exchange was Piggly Wiggly. I think it was a grocery chain. Yeah.
It's very interesting. Yeah, I did not know that. Why does it still say I'm short? I don't think I'm still short, am I?
No, if you were to go back and study like epic squeezes of all time. Oh, okay. Piggly Wiggly was on that. GME was on that. HKD was on that. Dries was on that. Volkswagen, someone mentioned in the chat, Volkswagen was on that. Let's see if NMAX can make it to the list as well.
NMAX, yeah.
I got margin called on SPI. that was one of them.
Did you?
Yeah.
Damn.
SPI was one of them. Didn't really get margin called on GME, but I got shut. Like I blew up my account a little bit on GME as well. Early days, I was short $9 and change.
What did it squeeze up to?
Well, you know what it squeezed up to.
What was it? GME?
It was like 500 something, right?
Oh, GME.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, whoa, that's great.
I was early. I was like, huh?
Negative
I think that a lot of funds are short this, which they were.
Yeah.
We found out who was short.
Oh, we found
But
out.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna do well being on the side of some of the bigger players. But
That's crazy. Yeah. Well, that's
stopped out in the teens. You know, it's fine. It's okay.
That's how to get rid of an account quick, right there.
Oh yeah. But no, I did not hold that. I did not bag that short till 500.
Good.
Impossible.
You have to wait.
Yeah.
I mean, John Lamb, if you feel like messaging me your trades on X there, my friend, feel free to do so. We'll get Bear vs. Bulls to write down my X handle, and I want to see some of your perfect trades on the day. So, yeah, put that in the chat. I'm really curious to see, or put that in my X DMs, and I'm curious to see what you had cooking up on the session there. So, I think in the world is coming to an end. People are out here selling NVIDIA and MX. Okay, day trader cut. That's going from 0 to 100 real quick. I don't even know. He said he thinks the world is coming to an end. Okay, people are out here selling NVIDIA and NMAX. Yeah, well, I mean, to each their own, right? If things are that chaotic, you may as well have a little bit of fun with it. If you do things, believe it's coming to an end. So no point in dwelling or getting too worried about that. But here you can see, guys, the NMAX now back up to $200 here. OB halted.
Oh yeah.
Once again at $199.95 roughly here. So
I wonder when the offering comes.
And there you go. Nightbot put my my X handle in there. So waiting for those trades of yours, guys. We don't have too much time left. About 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got hit in the Chop Fest 101 here on IBIT. We only had one really working trade on this name, OB, and we left the most of it for a runner, and we didn't get that move back to VWAP. But the rest of it was just absolutely choppy type price action for me. So that was a break even. So another 2 attempts on that one. So 1 for 5 on IBIT. And then that's at that point you just go, yeah, we're not trading that one. Because if things that are working out for you, like TSL, we caught this trade. I should have MOO'd that, OB, just because. But that's okay. Or mocked that. I should have mocked that. So, but that's okay. I didn't have anything left. So here we go. That is the better trade of the day on TSLL. So yeah, slightly red on it, but one solid trade here in the latter half of the afternoon would put us right back to exactly where we want to be. Obi, I know you had some really good trades on for the day. If you want to.
Yeah, that short is coming in, man. Like short the TQs a couple times, and that hold of 59 was absolutely beautiful. Kind of confluence with that 650 here on the Nasdaq as well, and just shy of that 5,700 here on the ES as well. We've been making some lower highs there. Finally coming back into VWAP. SPY got back to VWAP. So if you were playing a reversion on SPY on that move, we did the reversion to VWAP, and the TQs VWAP has picked up a little bit. It was down 57.30s. We're down to 57.50s. We're trading 57.70. So technically, we are pretty much getting to that VWAP as of right now, as it comes in pretty aggressively on the open of the hour. But that's all I got from you for you guys here. Hopefully, you guys had a good time here. Hopefully, you guys learned a thing or two.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you were entertained. Here's that VWAP. Oh boy, coming in beautifully. So shout out to the shorts that still held onto their position. But that's all from us. Joe.
That's all from us, Obi. Yeah. Last thing here, that's it for us until tomorrow. We'll pull up my screen for one quick second. We hit the 2-to-1 on the Playmaker poll. We went short today, guys. So there we go, another 2-to-1 winner. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for reminding us about the Playmaker poll. But Obi and I will be back
tomorrow. Take it easy.
Bye-bye. Wow, the Playmaker poll went short.
51 to 49, I heard it was.
Yeah.
On the old Playmaker poll. All right, imminently speaking, the market just came back in. I literally just covered an Intel short.
Yeah, I'm long here.
What's crazy about it is like I'm covering Intel short